Alright, here we are with Fellowship of Cybertron, Season 2, Episode 7. The story that we are beginning now is Path of Logic. We are in January 2020. I am Devin, playing the Horizon. To my left, we have X playing Y.
Tyler, playing Amble, the Lantern.
Ian, playing Rover, the Collector.
Peter as Violet of Null Space, the Angel.
Mark as Jackramet, the Halfling.
Now, for listeners who listen to this in chronological order, the last story we had was Trial of the GoBots. No real need to recap it because it's not relevant for this episode. That's not how the Horizon works. So, we open space, a new solar system, you guys waking out of cryosleep or stasis lock, as you usually do. You've detected life signs, and of course, like all these other trips you make through the vast void of space in this spiral galaxy, a Cybertronian signal. There is a world, third from the sun, orbiting two yellow stars. It has artificial satellites, fairly advanced technology, ships in orbit around it, space elevators, and a Decepticon warship.
Well, that ain't good.
Any other Cybertronian signals?
Only on the warship. The warship is flanked by familiar profile ships you remember from your journey to the Tempest planet, where the giant was.
Oh.
From Osiris's world.
Oh!
They have the telltale profile of the Hus Security Force, members of the Star League.
Yeah, Captain Grieve was there. Although he's probably long...
Maybe a lifetime ago, maybe several lifetimes ago.
Yeah.
Your ship is pulling up, though, and yes, the dark side is a tri-pronged trident of a ship. So it has a main sort of beaky, stabbing main bridge fuselage with two wings coming out of their side, looking like the head of a deep-sea trident, but black and spiked and covered in red power lines. It's not a battle cruiser. It's definitely not the Nemesis. It looks like it's just like a sleek assault ship, something that would be front of the lines, picking off tankers or, civilian ships.
So, we gonna come in guns blazing?
We should flag it first if it's got...
Yeah, but should we?
I agree with Spectacles. We don't punch first. It's not the Autobot way.
Well, we don't punch first, especially when there are civilians around.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that I get behind.
We're on good terms with the Hus security force. So...
Yeah, I was mainly looking at the Decepticon ship.
But just because we're not coming in blasting doesn't mean we don't have to come in with swagger.
Yeah.
Let's let these Decepticons know that we're here.
So, you're all on the bridge?
Yeah.
Who is flagging the Decepticon ship?
Do we want to flag the Decepticons or do we want to flag the security first?
Maybe the security first?
Well, the dark side is flagging you then.
Ah.
Okay. We will let... Your senior ranking officer, I think.
All right, one of your Autobot crew members starts punching in, opening, doing the grunt work before you do the actual comms thing. Turns in his seat. Sir, Intellitron 1 blasts overhead. Autobot command handshake accepted. Channel open on secure command frequency. Signaling that the ship sent Autobot signals. You get an encrypted message that comes out as basically text, no audio, no visual, telling you and your commander to dock and meet in the ship's bay. It's signed with the same command codes that Autobot High Command gives to the Tyrist Accord. The Autobot Justice League that's kind of above the normal military chain of command for dealing with existential threats. Basically their version of paladins or justicars or bounty hunters.
It's an old signal, but it checks out.
Well, we should go say hi. I mean, don't worry, I'm gonna tell the boys to wake up just in case, but...
I don't like the idea of walking into a trap.
But they do have the right security codes.
So either they are important or they kidnap someone important.
Yeah.
Well, then it's either a handshake or a rescue op. But either way, we gotta go on board.
Or a vengeance up. Well, let's dock them.
Okay.
Okay, you send out a docking cable line, which is basically like a big, tube that slams into the side of the ship. It's like squared off and like telescopes out. It locks up with their docking bay, and you guys head on in. Let me bring up the Dark Sides theme. Please be something nice.
Oh.
Devin, and you picked the wrong answer. Total party kill.
The docking bay is not lit when it opens on your side. It hisses, Cybertronian atmo pumps in, and you're brought into the dock room. It's a rectangle that goes back and slightly up on an incline. There are two large Decepticon symbols on either side of what looks like a main door for the dock. The symbols are shattered and broken and glitched, but they will fold open to reveal Teletran auto turrets, and they will also come out of the sides pointed at you as the system scans you from all sides. Your Autobot symbols lighting up and like being covered by the kind of grid scanner system.
Hey, how you doing?
Teletran 1 booms from the ship, Autobot signatures detected. And there's a slow kind of ponderous sound coming from the other end of the dock from an incline, like a staircase basically. A Cybertronian walks down. They are clearly normal sized for you guys, like not small like Jack 'em Up, but they have black and red patterning to them. Kibble, like they're a two-wheeler, like a motorcycle, but big and bulky. They walk down. They've been impuritaed, like their head's been cut off and replaced with a mono one, and this one's been heavily armored and bolted up, and kind of attention's been drawn to the red optic. They don't have claws. One of their arms looks to be a firearm of some sort, and the other one is a hand, but it looks odd, differently proportioned. Yeah, there's thud in the Cybertronian step when it walks up, and as it gets closer, you can see the red power lines go over where its badge would be, an Autobot tag. What's your names?
Hey, I'm Jack 'em Up. What's yours?
Light of null space.
Rover.
And
Officer Depth Charge. Welcome to the dark side. He gestures for you to come on in.
Yeah, Jack 'em Up goes in there unquestionably. He's just...
If you don't mind, it's a little dim in here. And I just kind of tap Screamo.
Woo!
He doesn't make the sound, but he starts spinning and he
So it's a
illuminates
strobe
the
light
area.
in here?
Yeah.
That weird kind of passover of red light, like it
That
is.
doesn't add any creepiness to this at all.
Following.
What are your marching orders?
I go first.
well, we follow.
Sure, why not?
No, he's asking you guys, what are your marching orders?
As in, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's his question, yeah.
Oh, I thought he meant, like, what is our marching order?
No.
This is D&T. It's taking it
What,
here.
our technical charter is what? Explore new life and seek new worlds or something?
Yeah, you're explorers.
I turn to
wars.
Rover and just kind of look at him pointedly.
Oh. Yes, explore new worlds, find new life, connect with any Cybertronian life out there that has not been home for a long time.
That picture I posted, that but black and red and with a clear mono eye. More bulky too, more armory. For our listeners, look up the Robotech motorcycle armor.
What did he say his name was?
Depth Charge. Which, to remind you guys, because it's been a few months, was a name in the Alcanor Manifest. The Decepticon, the Autobot prison ship.
Yeah, I thought it sounded familiar.
Do you want to call this a town?
This, his ship? No, but the planet down there is.
Oh.
What was the word for having the head cut off?
Impurita.
Yeah.
Spelled?
I would have to link it to you.
And Jack 'em Up totally has that.
Yeah, Jack 'em Up's been, government censored.
I would like to burn one of my items if it's appropriate. When we go to the planets that have like humans on them, it doesn't make me much sense to use my ability to know people there because I'm a freaking Autobot and they're short-lived space monkeys.
Yeah. Less racist, but yeah.
Would it be appropriate to burn my address book to have previous knowledge of depth charge and generally sort of having him?
Sure, do it.
Okay.
All right, you guys are talking about what you guys are doing here as Depth Charge is walking you down the dark side's corridors. Depth Charge. Profile you have on him, like a little battle card. Aggression max, civility low, knowledge, science, intelligence, all very like middle of the road. Aggression, firepower, vengeance, it seems to be his main trait. He used to be part of the rank and file war. Your remembrance and records of him are that he got transferred up to Justicar Division sometime after Rampage wiped out his planet.
So he is an Autobot though.
Oh yeah.
And he was a guard on the ship where he was a prisoner?
The records on the Alcanor are damaged, but it makes sense he'd be a guard.
Okay.
Just from
and he
you're
hasn't shot
piecing together.
Okay, so I've got a bond with him.
Sure.
Yeah, at some point he was impertinent, right?
Yeah, during the... It makes sense that was done to him during the autocracy, but you've never seen him not like this.
Yeah, so
Censured.
Censured. So, yeah, we had some discussions in the early days, both after being imprisoned. We were in the same group for that.
You never saw him.
Huh?
You never saw him.
Oh, I never saw him before. Okay, never mind.
No, but you can know him. You could have fought in the war with him.
Yeah, sure.
If you want to know something off the top of your head, he has a spark twin. His spark twin is the Wrecker Sea Spray.
Good to know.
Depth Charge Sea Spray, they both had water alt forms.
So, tell me, Depth Charge, how do you come to be in command of a Decepticon ship?
He hits a panel on the side of the wall as you say that, and a cell blast door opens up, and chained to the wall, plugged into it, and clearly in stasis lock is a Decepticon. I took it.
Oh man, that is classic depth charge.
The Decepticon, currently spooled up and not conscious, has a, it's Cybertron, it's mechanical, and it has a mechanical alt form, like a beast mode. The beast mode is a pterosaur, because this is Terrorsaur. Part of the Predaking team, which Rampage is a combiner for. Like, they combine together into Predaking. Pterosaur is one of the parts.
He's like, what, a class 5 threat? Class 6?
He was on the Alcanor. They put the worst of the worst on there.
Yeah. I knew those guys wouldn't have gotten the best of you.
So you're explorers?
Correct.
You haven't found any of my fugitives, have you?
We've encountered a few.
Unfortunately.
Closes the blast door and keeps walking. Because I've encountered some of yours, and as he does, he points to another wall that opens up, and Brainiac's in there! Yeah, he's unconscious. He's not able to be conscious with what they did to him.
Yeah, okay. I'll just...
He's plugged into machinery.
Oh yeah, he had this whole thing going on, taking on a planet. Had this whole big one of those wonderful speeches. You know, the kind of thing that Megatron would have said in the really early days.
My ship went down. The prisoners escaped. I've been pursuing them since. I've taken some freelance work from the local polities. They gave me one of their ships. Eventually, I tracked down the dark side in an old graveyard. Pterosaur was trying to retrofit it. And I waited for him to finish and took it.
Well done.
Still running for the polities. That's where these Decepticons are trying to shack up and get power bases going. Tracked one across three different systems before I tailed them here.
Well, I can tell you, if you're looking to round up the people from the Alcanor and get them back in chains, then we're willing and able to help.
It's a good soldier.
Yeah.
The planet below I could use maybe some assistance with.
What do you need?
I have a fugitive down there. I'm content to wait them out, but the planet's on lockdown. No ships can leave. The government I work for, the Star League, they've quarantined this system. Any ship that leaves gets shot down. I've had to shoot down 3 already.
Oh. Sounds like they ain't getting around.
They're
I
taking
think
the
this-
FTL relay. There's an FTL relay at the edge of the solar system. They're taking it offline. No ships in or out for the next few centuries unless this quarantine is lifted.
The Star League was the government that was.
Running the Avatar Earth miners and that
So they're
general-
kind of dicks.
They're both kind of dicks.
They're bureaucrats.
No giant political galaxy-spanning empire is going to be not dicks.
What about us?
So I'm going to be in orbit for the foreseeable future until he gets until the quarantine is lifted or there's nothing left on the planet.
Well, maybe we should go say hi.
So you want us to accelerate this timeline?
I want to be able for ships to leave so I can catch
So why is this world quarantined?
some sort of biologic plague.
Sounds like it's right up your alley.
Yeah. Could be fairly easy to fix.
Their science can't, so maybe they need actual science.
Do you know who's in charge of the security force here?
I have a provisional rank, but I can't push it past certain boundaries. The political party on the planet that invited us are very stringent that the quarantine not be lifted and have enacted total lockdown. There's policies in place that once enacted, no one can unenact them.
So you're saying if we go down to hell, we're not leaving till it's done, one way or another?
You all can leave. We can quarantine ourselves. We're not.
I'd like
We're
to
not
see them.
them.
I'd like to see them try and shoot us down.
Well, we would want to put our friend in that position anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
he would technically be called on by his contract to attack us.
They can try.
Yeah.
Well, we could always put on some fireworks as we're leaving.
Our situation is mutually beneficial, but they seem to think that me just being one Autobot out on the frontier, it puts me at a disadvantage. And it would be unfortunate if I had to report back to Optimus about just how wrong they were.
It's fair. Okay, well, we'll go see what we can do on the ground then.
Hopefully we can smoke this criminal out. They're erratic and dangerous and stupid. They'll make mistakes.
Will you give us introduction to their governing body or security force, whoever's in charge here?
I'll put you up with the ruling party right now.
Perfect.
And then you head to the bridge. This place is dark, by the way. There's no lighting. There's like red power lines everywhere. Decepticon symbols have been scarred out all over the place. The bridge is like a cave with stalactite machinery coming down from it. There's clear battle marks all around here.
I do not get their aesthetic.
Well, maybe as we're on the planet, you can use our boys to refurbish this place.
That will be necessary. For security reasons, I'm not letting anyone on this ship that I don't trust. You four get on because you were command of the ship.
Suit yourself.
My mini-cons can handle it.
You need some energy or something?
There's a supply on here, and I got a rebreeder from the nearby star system.
Okay.
Anyway, he brings you to the bridge and brings up a comm system. Sends over command codes, does a quick talk over there. They'll accept you on the planet. You've been given clearance.
Well, I guess we should ready our shuttle.
No sense keeping on John about it.
Yep.
Do you have any info you need from me?
I mean, we kind of
Who's
don't
the
know much
mark?
about the situation.
One of the criminals on the Alcanor. Reject. Science experiment. Waspinator.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
We run into him before.
Have you now?
He's gone batty in a big way. There's something very, very wrong with him. You remember how big he was before, right?
I remember what he was like on the Alcanor when he tried to offline me.
So, I display the picture of the
Yeah.
battle with...
Yeah, he has a pretender shell now. I figure it's what he's used to evade my scans on the planet. Can't get through pretender shells.
Yeah, the things he was with were not fun.
They had some kind of weird rifting technology that didn't make much sense.
There's a few FTL societies around here.
No, I'm talking those like giant whale things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
those.
this is all well and good and will be very pertinent in the future, but in addition to your criminal concerns, our primary objective has got to be first and foremost dealing with this plague on the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, we have an obligation to help these people, regardless of whether or not it helps out your pursuit of Waspinator. So any information you could give us on the plague, on its origins, its makeup, something I could use to actually get started on working towards a cure would be most helpful.
I didn't bother investigating. I'm not a doctor. I was going to wait it out.
The plague appeared before the Waspinator or after?
I don't know.
What
I don't
about
know if
the
it was
people?
already happening or if it happened after.
We'll have to go get a couple samples.
What about the
Yeah.
people you work with, the collective that's quarantined the planet? You're telling me they don't know anything?
They're working with the polities on the planet and trying to figure it out. I'm not in the loop on that. They're biologics. I wasn't part of the cast that was allowed to take exobiology.
Fair.
Well, then it seems we'll have to do some groundwork.
Which is true. He was probably from the autocracy. They had a caste system. He probably didn't go to school. He probably was a laborer.
Hey! Just because you labor don't mean you don't speak goods.
Yeah, he's more like him. Alright. You have my leave then. Because he's captain of this ship.
Yeah. Okay. We'll head back to our ship, and then we'll flag the head of the security force.
The security force is depth charge.
Okay, I
The
thought you
Hoos
said
are
that-
working with him.
Yeah, but we'll.
You are going to get invited to the current people negotiating with the Star League, which
Okay.
are the Oracles. They're a type of alien peacekeepers that are here. So you're able to get a quick profile of the Oracles. They look like a upright jellyfish combined with a spider, like with legs coming out on either side. So they scuttle and have jellyfish stuff coming out of them, and have like a liquid head.
So typical organics.
Yeah. Yeah, you're given a quick bio kind of readout because those are available just from the Star League. Oracles are a nomadic race of alien peacekeepers that other planets that are willing to join the Star League basically hire on to boot their planet up into the right culture to join the Star League. They're uplifters. They'll institute traditions, policies, laws, religions that will make the petitioner planet gel with the rest of Star League. They come in threes. They have a weird sort of biological gender thing where they come in sets of three, and one of them is telepathic and aggregates the thoughts of the other two.
Okay.
That's kind of the lowdown you're given on them. So, what is the name of the triple set of oracles, like the three oracles, that will be your point of contact?
Melody.
Done. Write it down. Your attaché, or your liaison. Alright, you're invited to dock on one of their space elevators, and they will bring you down to the planet's surface.
Okay.
The space elevator's been evacuated. There's a skeleton crew of mechanical drones, basically, that are automating this place. Not like humans drones, just like Roombas, Amazon warehouse drones, things that can hover and fly, and they're
Yeah.
running this place on automatic because workers aren't up here anymore.
Little screamers.
So yeah, you four are going in. Are you bringing friends?
I
Everybody, look at your list
don't
of
want
contacts.
to bring
Osiris?
Osiris because
Osiris' biology might be resilient to this.
yeah, but I don't know that 100% yet, and I don't want to risk him until I know more.
I'm actually going to bring Boilermaker because as a... look, I don't know that much about organic chemistry or medicine. That's more your field. But if you want someone who does know who can arrange a bunch of chemistry on the fly, Boilermaker is literally a guy.
That's fair. Yeah. Oh, before we go down, I tell Observatron to not leave my room because he will definitely be killed by depth charge.
Depth charge, I base off Judge Dredd.
Yeah, no, 10 out of 10. He will be executed on not even sight, on suspicion of sight. So
the visual aesthetic for Depth Charge is a Autobot version of Judge Dredd mixed with the new RoboCop reboot, like the black and red, like the kind of like that's the kind of look he goes for. His alt form is just a really big motorcycle, big enough for a Cybertronian probably to ride. Like he's normal sized.
yeah, no.
Gaze upon the fist
I
of
definitely tell Observatron to not leave the room. I don't need him dying because he made a stupid mistake.
His firearm is a minicon called Lone Star.
Of course. Nice.
I'm bringing Raketa, Ecto 3, and my OCs.
Perfect. Oh, and then OCs.
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't want to call.
Glad to hear.
All right. So, and you're not bringing Osiris.
I am not.
You're bringing anyone else?
I'll bring Boilermaker as part of our group.
Okay.
If
So the lift, the space elevator, basically you get into the carriage, the cable starts running, it starts bringing you down. The planet's surface is urbanized. For the most part, there are large, sprawling, space-age technology cities rising out of the sky in skyscrapers with like monorails, trams. It reminds you of Cybertron because there's an excess of vehicle pathways. This place is covered in roads and highways and interstates and like clover-shaped like on and off ramps. It's choked with them. They sprawl out everywhere in between buildings. You can't see the ground in a lot of places. In the distance, you can see where there isn't that, but those places look kind of barren or kind of used up. It's very industrial. Easy to get lost if you're not knowing how to navigate. And yeah, as you go deeper and deeper, like closer to the surface, those skyscrapers that you're around are actually up a bit higher than everyone else, kind of like a plateau. They're brought down, and it opens up, and yeah, there are the larger room you're in the space elevator is a large white room, very Apple iPod future-y design, 2001. White, clean lines, ambient fluorescent light everywhere, ceilings that have been mirrored or are giving off like an infinity image on them to make it seem like the space is bigger than it actually is. Very aping like a celestial feel.
I want to talk to the team in the elevator while we're
Sure,
going down
yeah, you
before
have
we get there.
time. It's a space elevator.
So, any of you ever seen a plague before?
Cybertronians do have plagues, by the way.
Cosmic rust.
Cosmic rust, Cybonic plague, scraplets.
Oh, actually, then yeah, because my character drags the wounded to you repeatedly.
Rusticles.
So, yeah.
I haven't seen any Cybertronian plagues, but I've done a lot of interesting studies on organic plagues.
That's good. That's good. That'll be helpful. What about you, Viator?
Well, I had the unfortunate pleasure of seeing the rust firsthand.
So you all know we got two enemies here. First one is whatever kind of contagion is spreading throughout this populace. And the second is going to be the panic. Panic makes people crazy. Makes them do things they wouldn't do otherwise. Gets them all riled up, act against their own best interests. Unless we can cut off both heads of this Hydra, it's going to eat us alive.
Okay, what do you suggest?
Well, I don't know until we get our boots on the ground and see the shape of the scene.
Okay.
I'm just saying, be prepared. We might have to go to some extreme lengths to get this under control.
Somebody need to cauterize the wound.
Okay. We'll be ready. I hope.
I really hope this doesn't. There's two things that I want to see: giving us an order to having to give an order to Mega Blaster up on the ship, and writing this to Prime later.
Yeah.
Really hope we can avoid that.
Well, too bad Sky was not here to make that call.
Yeah.
You know what puts it on you, right?
I suppose. Last time you were in charge. I guess this time it'll be on me.
Well, I'm going to be busy tending to the wounded. If there comes a hard decision, you're going to have to be the one that makes it.
Sure thing.
On that ominous note, the elevator carriage stops. It opens on all sides, like it just kind of fans open because it's a loading area. And yeah, you're met by a delegate of oracles, those jellyfish spiders. They move around in threes. There's a lot of them there. They seem to have set up some sort of like ritual welcoming. So there's a lot of like banners. There's music being played, light displays. And yeah, the three of them kind of approach you on raised floating platforms and do the universal greeting, ba-wop, wee-wop, mini-ba.
Bowie grana, whip nitty bon.
The whole event takes about half an hour.
This was an utter waste.
It's like a minute of Cybertronian time. I mean...
Oh no, you experience it the way normal people do. Cybertrons experience time just like human beings do. That's what makes the whole Vietnam, but 65 million years, a fucking nightmare.
Yep.
You experience time at exactly the same pace. So, so the three oracles, they have like different iconography and like the way they would have clothing and carapace coloring and like different things suspended in their gel or around their like stingers and stuff to differentiate them. They give the greeting at the end. The universal greeting of peace and cooperation.
So, let's see.
What's your own there, mate?
Yeah, what's your move?
I'm considering using Little Folk and go and explore while these guys are...
You just slip away.
Yeah.
Womp, 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 womp.
Boring conversation
Ooh.
anyway.
I'm going to boring conversation anyway.
Depth Charge provided you with schematics for alt forms for this planet.
Oh, nice.
Like, he gave you models that you could scan to be alt forms on here and be in disguise.
Nice.
So if you needed to, you could. You had a library.
Good to know.
Wait, we can just change our alt form?
Well, like, if you're a four-wheeler, you're still an alt four-wheeler, but if you want to be an ambulance or a hearse, you can just shift that around.
Okay.
So he gave you a model to scan that lets you be like, you're their version of an ambulance now. So you'll just blend in and be where you need to be.
Awesome.
Double
Total
one.
fail.
Oh, what happens on a fail?
It doesn't work. People see me.
Well, probably get a cut.
Is it possible for you to be helped if you had hope? Or
Sure.
would it still be a fail, no matter what your other dice
No,
was?
I can. If I get another die, I can.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, if you roll double ones, then you need like a 6 or 5, right?
I have a +3.
So
So
3 or higher.
4, yeah, you
Yeah.
need a 3 or higher, which is not
Okay.
a bad
Yeah.
odds.
So while this whole procession is going on, and they're doing their big greeting for half an hour, I'm gonna pull everyone aside a bit. Be like, okay, this is a waste of time. While we're spending time here, listening to these oracle things talking, people are out there dying. We've got to get to work right away, but we got to be diplomatic about this. They like people in threes. We'll arrange ourselves in threes. We'll present that as our unified front to them. 3 of us. In the meantime, you sneak out the back. Best way to do it is wait for us to return their universal greeting and slip into your alt form, slide away.
Ah,
And then if you follow my advice, you get hope.
sounds good.
Roll hope.
Nope, another one.
Damn!
Fucking Christ.
They have really good security. They probably were watching this on.
Yeah, you were at the center of it all, and they were watching you, and you tried to sneak away.
Yawn.
Yeah, you try to drive away and like sneak away and accidentally drive directly into line of sight of like their camera system on the screens that are being displayed. So it starts to track you because it's an auto tracking camera for like we have that now in teleconferencing. So like people are like everyone's watching you. Everyone is watching you right now, even on the planet.
It's like so.
You see like a sidebar going across the bottom of the screen, which you have to translate for because you're the translator.
Well, I have to bust out my book in the middle of this greeting to do that because that's only slow.
Okay, yeah.
So you're doing the Ford Bronco drive out.
The Ford Bronco drive out. Yeah, well, now that
Can
I've
you
been...
share your... Sorry, can you share your book with people?
I mean, it's my item, so maybe, but again, it's a slow item. You can't be distracted while you're using
I can
it.
take slow off of things.
Well,
While
your
I'm-
item.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying if yeah.
All right, so in that case, my character is going to, seeing as how we have that going now, I am going to...
Flashback.
I'm thinking keep them busy with a distraction because I can't really lie to them because I can't speak their language.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you with that hard cut. That's gonna increase friction. Boop boop. There we go. So, well, yeah, you break a custom, so you automatically increase it. Now I get to hit you with a hard cut. Cool. Yeah, some security lights go over you.
Okay. I flash back the lights in the on like my own headlights in the same greeting that they're doing.
The oracles are gonna talk to you through Peter because he's the translator, and you need Peter to translate, as we've all come across.
We'll orientate ourselves in like
With
a
you as the
triangle,
head.
with him like speaking to us as though he's our telepathic guy, so we're mirroring them.
Yeah.
Your extra is wandering away. It must be defective. It must be quarantined now before we can determine that it will not wander in the future.
Sorry about that. I guess we should recall our friend.
It must be quarantined now. This is the way.
Okay, there's like close comms. Okay, check them out. They're gonna quarantine you. I guess cooperate for now?
Nope,
No?
No.
Yeah, that's
we're not
striking
letting him
things.
be quarantined. We've wasted enough time here already.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak clearly,
Okay?
which allows me to speak softly to a crowd. So I'm going to speak softly to these people.
Alright, so my cut is to separate you. They are separating you for observation. So that is the cut that's happening. Like, he has now been... Like, force fields have gone up to separate them. Here's your response.
Can I actually... I've got another move I could try to, while I'm like that one.
Let him go for it.
I mean, what are you going to do?
Well,
Kill them.
please repeat after me. This is the universal, the secondary universal greeting of all lesser functionaries towards the masses upon the planet. And my character breaks into an interpretive dance. And I'm going to use talking nonsense.
Okay. Just talking nonsense.
You need to get rid of those dice.
That's 5 ones in a row.
You need to burn those dice.
And what's the
Throw them out the
penalty
window.
for that?
It just says roll courage. Just when
Well,
talking lies with a straight face.
So you can cut him however you want, Devin.
It's a soft, it's considered talk sense. So it's whatever it is for talking sense.
Talk sense. Choose one. They can do as you asked. Why the favor of them is expressive, difficult, demanding, or demeaning. And you owe the favor.
Alright.
So you're not allowed to roll.
So choose one. They do as you ask, and they cannot do as you ask and tell you why. Or the favor leads to them must be expensive, difficult, or demeaning.
They are not letting you off of the hook because they have to follow their custom.
Okay, I think we just kind of have to let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, these are the ones that are aligned with you. These are the peacekeepers.
No,
Aligned with me.
peacekeepers aren't aligned with me.
Oh, sure, no, they're aligned with you. These are you guys.
Yes.
Okay. I'm still going to speak clearly to them.
Sure.
So I'm
What do you
gonna
want to
roll
accomplish with speak clearly?
that. Well, I want to speak softly, and I want to order them, and I want to get some information. So
Do it.
I'll roll first. That's not great. 6.
It's gonna be one of those sessions.
I asked 3 questions from the list, and one of their answers is false.
Oh boy.
And one of the answers is not helpful because also it's 9 minus, right?
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, one of the
But
other
because-
answers is false.
I'm using my move. I can still replace one of my questions with giving them an order.
Okay.
So I give them an order, and then they tell me something that is not helpful, and they tell me something that is false.
But can't the order be unhelpful or false?
Probably, maybe.
At this point, like, security droids, which look like Ed 209, have arrived on scene. Like, it looks like a cop car, but then it folds out into Ed 209 if it's also a cop car transformer. And they're kind of just stomping near you, being like, saying in an alien language that you can understand, resist. Do not resist. Do not resist.
No, because you have 3 questions.
Okay, well,
and then one
throw 'em
answer
at
is
me.
not helpful, one answer is false, and then I just negate a question to do
All right,
something else.
throw them at me.
Okay, so
Maybe the two that aren't the command first.
sure. So the first is what can they tell us about X, and what can they tell us about the plague?
So what can they tell you about the plague? What's the next
Yeah.
one? Because I remember our board game night, I got to hear both questions first before I decide which one is false. Like with Peter in the map.
What would they have us do next?
What do you mean, what would they have you do next?
What do they want us to do next?
Yeah,
Like-
that's one of the questions on the list. What would they have us do next?
Why the tea ceremony, of course.
Okay, well, what they want you to do next is follow all of their cultures and customs around universal greetings at first contact.
Mm-hmm.
And what they want to tell you about the plague?
Yeah.
Okay. The plague is only affecting the lower life forms on the planet that are currently going through quarantine. It is not a concern, but we appreciate your help.
Well, that's very interesting, but I'm going to have to requisition all of your data on this plague. So while we go through all of the proper steps and customs, I would like you to dismiss some of your serfs to have them retrieve all of the data you currently have on this situation and bring it to us.
That will be done.
Thank you.
We are having a facility retrofitted for your kind.
That is pleasant, but I assure you it is not necessary. We don't intend to spend a lot of time here.
It is the way, though, for disease control.
Well, maybe once we get a little more light shed on the exact nature of the disease that's taking place, we can talk about the proper controls.
Perfect. Then we are in agreement.
Sounds that way.
And they will, they will allow you to go to their disease control facility, which they've retrofitted for you.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so we'll cut to you. You're taken away.
Cool.
Like, do you go with them?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, they bring you to a warehouse that looks like it's a reinforced bunker at the bottom of one of the towers, and the tower itself looks like it's not really used that much. And they just tell you to sit in the center, and they put lights on you, and they observe you. And they're going to do that for 3 days.
All right. Wow.
To make sure that you're not erratic.
All right. I'll bring out the diaries and stuff like that, and start working on my
Rubber
memoirs.
ball.
Yeah.
Bounce it against
Keep in
the
mind that
wall.
you have comm contact with these guys, too.
Yeah.
Just stop talking nonsense.
Yeah, heads up, the penalty for being arrested by these people, which is one of the cuts that comes up if the threat keeps going up, is you get 3 days in quarantine.
Okay.
All biomech units exhibiting unusual behavior in first contact scenarios must be put under observation for 3 solar cycles.
Okay.
All right, so do you want to talk to these things at all as you're on a convoy? Because they'll also be in like a machine of sorts to travel with you. Do you want to know what the place looks like around you as you travel? What kind of information can I give you as you're on your way to their CDC?
I want to know how long they've been here. I want to know what they've been, when the plague broke out, where it first broke out, how it's been spreading, what kind of vectors it seems to be spreading along.
Let's do it one at a time.
Sure. You don't want me to just like keep spitting these out
Until I die?
Just tell us everything you have, Devin.
I'm not going to tell you everything I have. You're going to ask questions, and I'll tell you answers to those questions. All right. You are driving in a convoy. They, of course, have contact with you. Or do you want them to ride with you?
Why don't we ride together? I like
Yeah.
the personal touch.
Yeah. Ride together.
All right. They'll split up the 3 groups among each of you and then coordinate from there. So, yeah, they just kind of slide on into your various cockpits.
Oh, it's gonna take forever to clean.
You
Well,
clean your interiors?
You are a medic.
You don't?
Well, don't you have like a little containment pod for your biological
I
thing?
do, but I still clean that because I don't know
You're
where
your Pokeball.
Yeah. I just like.
You are the Medicae of your trio.
Correct.
They don't have any follow-ups to that.
So tell me, you arrived before or after the outbreak?
Our heritage arrived on this world, invited, 200 solar cycles ago. We were asked to help facilitate the bootstrapping and ascension into the Star League.
Yeah, I put that together knowing why you guys normally show up on a planet, but that doesn't really answer my question.
The original...
After the outbreak.
The outbreak among the lower systems on this world began approximately... The dates line up with maybe a month or two before Depth Charge arrived, when he was chasing down Waspinator, but you can't really tell. It's the first time they noticed it.
So that was the first recorded case.
It is impossible to ascertain the correct records, as the original infected do not have bureaucracy as we do, and initial symptoms were overlooked as a seasonal plague or a sign of squalor.
Lack of records is going to make this more difficult. All right.
As you're driving, you see like the various highways, roads are being cleared off. Cars that can hover are like slowly lifting up and going onto off ramps. The skyscrapers are everywhere. You see the other race as you're driving because eventually you slow down. They're called the Barons by Depth Charges files. The Barons look like a mix-up between corvids, like crows, and like tree-climbing apes. Like brachiating mammals. So if a crow went through a primate phase, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. The longer ones, like orangutans, basically. The slow, sinewy wrists. Or muscles. Yeah, they have a lot of like... you notice the first thing about these people, the Barons, is they're cybernetic. Like, large parts of their body is replaced with machinery and fed in with upgrades and uplinks. And it all has that white and blue kind of technology to it. That technology they're showing you, by the way, that you're seeing, it's giving off energon signals, which you remember from when the Hus fleet was around that small move around that Jovian world. It's Nakoda-based technology. That energon-enriched FTL that they were drilling for.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So a lot of these people run hot. Like you can pick up low-level energon signals off of them. Most of their tech runs off of it.
So what's the current level of containment? Is this global, civic, national?
Containment has been isolated to several metropolises, 3 to be exact. The most cases that are found and identified are being brought here to the main center of disease control.
Where are these 3 metropolises? Are they close together?
They are on the same continent, but spread out as metropolises are. Like, you don't usually have Ottawa right next to New York. Mm-hmm. It's just how big cities work, right?
And what's the status of transportation between these metropolises and other major hubs of civilization?
This world, Helios Centralia, is a transportation-heavy world. It is becoming a trade hub, and also its culture benefited from mass expansion, upgrading, and industrialization when the Barons colonized it. Basically, they give you a rundown. This is like a diesel world. They use cars and transportation for everything. It's part of their culture. For certain castes. The Barons themselves usually don't leave their homes. It's not how their species works. But the laborers do. They go everywhere.
How much sway do you have with the local political?
The oracles and our heritage have the utmost assurance and confidence from the local polities. We are their connection to the Star League, and this relationship is not jeopardized. They are learning to meld their culture to be correct, but there is some pushback.
Pushback by who?
The ruling Barons have a culture that does not conform to Star League patterns. It is very self-important and focused on luxury and not greater mutual cooperation for the glory of the Star League. They wish to come to our galactic pond, but still wish to be larger predators. There's a mob outside the CDC building.
Do they have signs?
Yeah, the equivalent. So that's the third race on this planet. The Untouchables, or Laborers, as they've been referred to, or the lower life forms, as have been referred to several times in this scene. They look like a cross between a hammerhead shark and great sloths. Yeah, they have a lot of they're a lot closer to Victorian industrialization or modern day Earth styles in clothing. No cyberware, no alien technology, and yeah, a lot of them are like protesting and pushing back at guard droids, those S02E07 security drones.
What's going on here?
Nothing to be concerned about. There is upset at working conditions and fear based around unfounded rumors of the current outbreak.
Humor me. What are those rumors?
The rumors are that the plague is that this outbreak will consume the Untouchable caste and exterminate them, or that it has been sent here by us to make the planet more moldable. Nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, the oracles find that the Untouchables are the more pliant and suited for Star League uplifting. It is a shame they are not ruling this world, but they do not have the same advancement. They have a place, and that place is not ruling.
Has the plague been advancing more rapidly amongst the Untouchables than it has amongst the Barons? I know you mentioned that they were more mobile.
The answer to that is correct. The current population of Untouchables infected by the plague, next to Baron infestations, is 100%.
So none of the Barons have?
Correct. If they were more advanced, they would qualify for Star League intercession, but they are not. It is not a concern.
Is it possible that there's some kind of biological barrier, considering that they're different species?
This is something our biologists have considered as well. The Star League medicants that have looked at the files have said that it would be ludicrous for a plague to spread across species that aren't native to the planet. This seems to be a native outbreak among the planet's biology, and thus will affect the Untouchables, but not the Barons. They are not from the same ecosystem.
It would almost be useful to reveal the way on them, to make them advise them that no, they should be truthful with us and so on, so that it would be easier just to make sure that they're not hiding anything here.
I will be using Reveal the Way. I don't think now is quite the time for it, but yes, it is in my repertoire.
I know.
Well, I got some things in my repertoire too that I'm gonna be
Will
throwing
it
at
bribe
these.
them to make them your allies?
Oh, I picked up some things, not last session, but the session before. And
Pick up some things, unnatural things.
Did you want to narrow anything down in that conversation you just had?
No, I think I'm getting a good picture for now. We'll do more at the CDC, and once we kind of collaborate a bit.
Some
Unless
shots
anyone
are-
else has any questions.
What's the Oracle's view on the Untouchables?
The Untouchables have a complicated history on this world. There is some among their members that say that they are the native species to this biosphere, which some science could support. But the prevailing Baron education taught in their institutions and their academies states that they were brought along with the colony ship and merely mixed with the local population, which gives them an affinity for the planet. They were brought here as servants. They are servants.
so the Barons aren't local to this planet either?
That is correct. The Barons came on a colony vessel from the Star League extraplanet mission 1,000 solar cycles ago. The original founders lived for 1 century on this world before their cybernetic upgrades and lionization technology gave out and were thus entombed. Their descendants then spread across the world, upgraded it, and made it into a Star League habitable planet.
I still have comms, right? So I'm listening to this.
Oh yeah, you're hearing all of this.
Oh man, that would be so funny if those were the guys we saved from earlier.
What, the ship from session 1?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't follow. If they were Star League colonists, why aren't they already in the Star League?
The answer to that lies in their deviation from Star League pattern society, thinking, culture, and religion. They are not working within the way or the assigned patterns by the Star League Emperex. They must be brought under heel. They must be brought in line with the pattern.
Also, they want to join the Federation.
There's just a close up as both these two Autobots just look at each other and like if they were human, their eyebrows would like narrow.
Yeah, you hear some shots go off into the crowd from the S02E07s as they start firing like gas rounds and stuff into them to disperse them.
Okay.
Oh, you want down?
Yeah, a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, let's.
And this is the music for the oracles. This nice, calm, weird music.
I want to meet with the head of the Barons.
That is one of the problems we are having on this world. There is no singular unified governmental head. There are several polities, noble families, lineages, heritages, and royalties that interwork with each other and against each other, related by blood and technological heritage from backups and mind state uploads. They are all currently working together and against each other to keep power plays in check and balance out the politics. We are trying to consolidate them.
Who is in the lead for consolidation?
What is the name of the Baron that's in the League for Consolidation?
Throw a name.
Tron name.
Baron von Evil Lord.
Baron Harkonnen.
Orlaith.
Alright, Baron Orlaith.
Orlaith.
That would be Baron Orlaith. They are conforming to Star League patterns at the highest levels, have gone through many sanctionings and aptitude qualifications among our kind. They have proven their loyalty, they have given up many of the material goods and privileges that have been afforded to them on this planet and are showing that they, under their leadership, they will bring this planet into order.
Perfect. I would like to speak with them.
That can be arranged. There are processes involved, of course. We must vet both sides before we allow you to communicate to ensure maximum diplomacy.
How long will that take?
One solar cycle for vetting, or one planetary cycle. See, planetary cycles are days, solar cycles are years.
Yes.
I don't want to fuck that up. They've been here for 1,000 years.
Is there anyone I can meet this today?
You have met us.
I'm going to reveal the way.
All right.
I'm basically going to tell them that it's in their best interests to create a meeting immediately.
They agree, and thus they will pull all of the leverage they can to get the meeting within one planetary day, but they will rush through it so the paperwork's put in as soon as possible. Here's a problem with the oracles I'm going to throw at you guys.
They're slow.
No, they don't have a maybe. There's 3 of them. So they only ever vote yes or no. There is no maybe, there are no deadlocks. Because if they could do a maybe, one could say yes, one could say no, one could say maybe or undetermined. They only work in yes or no.
So you'll meet with them in one day.
Very well.
But that's revealed a very important thing for you to know about now that you're trying to push them with your literal Jedi mind tricks. Like, oh shit. Their minds are different. The other 2 races aren't. You can totally reveal the way them as much as possible, but this is a problem with the Barons. Or with the Oracles. If you try and slam into their culture and them not following their traditions, they'll hit stalemate, and that'll cause problems. And delays. They're very easy to stalemate if you throw your weight around. Yeah, they're designed to be a stick in the mud for you guys. Which means your best interest would be to avoid.
Very well. How soon can we get in contact with someone who has this plague?
As you're entering the center, we have several subjects on file.
Perfect. Here currently?
Yes.
Perfect.
All current cases are being transferred to this facility for your observation, in accordance with Starleague protocol for level 0 quarantine.
Internal comms.
Yes.
So I'm thinking we roll into kind of like a 2-team situation here. You and Viator will be Team A. You'll stay here, you'll talk with the oracles, you will collect samples, then you'll move on to collecting samples.
Please don't keep me with these oracles.
Then you'll move on to collecting samples from the cities, getting as much data from each of the 3 locations as you possibly can. Bring it back to a central place where we can research it. You'll be diplomatic liaison. I'm thinking Jakima might have a little in common with the Untouchables. Maybe he's
I was going to suggest, if it's worth it, I could probably try and break out of here. But these guys do seem to have their eyes on it, so they would
They
probably.
only need you for 3 days. Wait your 3 days, then when they let you out, go talk to the Untouchables, see what you can find, use your jack 'em up charm on them. I'm sure they'll love you.
Sounds good.
In the meantime, I'm going to go out and I'm just going to start treating the wounded. See what I can figure out from an actual...
Boots on the ground.
Yeah.
I agree with you, except if Viator talks to the oracles, I'll talk to the barons. They seem similar to Osiris's species, which I have a lot of data on those species.
Is that a wrong jump? And you're a biologist.
I have a lot.
Oh, no, you're an anthropologist, yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of data on Osiris's species. I have a lot of data on just general, organics.
Osiris could be a translator for you.
Yeah,
The way his biology is built, he could actually hack their language.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna get, once I know this can't infect Osiris, or I have enough of a cure to protect Osiris, I'm gonna get him down here.
Well,
also
currently it's
as-
only infected one species on this planet.
That's what they've said. I don't believe them currently. I'll be honest
Everything.
there. And so, yeah, I want to look at this a little closer, and yeah, I want to see what my research is telling me. It shouldn't take me more than, I'm hoping, a day or 2. I know that sounds harsh, but risking Osiris's life currently is not the most valuable.
Don't waste more than a day talking to this Baron guy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got to get out and do your thing. Collect samples from each of these 3 cities. See if there's any divergence in mutations. We're
Agreed.
dealing with the same strain.
I have, when Osiris comes down, I can get him, if he comes down, I can get him to bring me some stuff. I have many different cures from diseases I've seen on the ship, so maybe something there will be able to help us here.
Boilermaker goes out. I know of a couple things, the chemicals. You probably never heard of them. Neosulfa.
They're very obscure, very underground.
very obscure. You probably really old.
Yeah.
Penicillin. Anyway, sorry.
Boilermaker will be helpful to do many things. And yeah.
But I got a question. I've been locked in. I've been thinking. Do we really have the right to cure a lethal plague? I mean,
We're doing Dear Doctor, eh?
no. I'm just. Yes, I was doing Dear Doctor. Just ignore that. That was.
Fucker.
You know what?
I
He's
have
right.
to make.
Pack it up, boys.
One day we'll have
done
some
here.
sort of rules about this. A prime directive. That's an actual quote from the episode. That'll tell us whether or not this is good.
It's hint. It's not.
Fuckers.
See, we'll study, develop a cure, and then we'll sell it to them.
All we need to
Ferengi.
do, all we need to do is kill Waspinator. So if we blow up this planet,
Yeah, that actually brings up a good point. Waspinator is on this planet, and I doubt he's being idle. So everyone keep your optics open.
that's the other thing. The timeline is too suspicious. With Waspinators, see, that's the other reason I didn't want to bring Osiris down here. With Waspinator's weird, I'm going to use the word mutations, cybernetics, his, not kibble.
Pretender shell.
His pretender shell, and the thing he did with those Leviathans, I'm wondering if this disease has come from that, and I'm wondering how quickly it will spread to cybernetics. So keep yourselves careful and clean too, as we don't know yet if this disease can infect us. I doubt it will, but if it was based off of Waspinator, it could.
All right. Break.
Okay,
Team Autobots.
so let's mark off one day. Just so you guys get settled in. I'm going to describe the CDC on day 2.
Can I do some stuff still during
You guys
that
did a
day?
bunch today.
Okay.
Like, you guys are just getting settled in and getting connections and all up and running and,
Okay.
you know, getting your feel for the planet, all that. Mark off a day, change the numbers.
Dun dun dun.
What are the numbers?
See those
Oh, I
multipliers?
see.
You might want a little calculator. I think I have one around somewhere.
I don't need one yet.
What's up, Pete? Let me pause while you get up. We're back. So, you're brought to the CDC building. Large football stadium looking structure that has a covered dome on it. That is, you know, clearly a research facility that's been merged and expanded and given like construction overhaul. As you 3 are brought in, it's clear they've knocked down walls and opened up shutters and stuff to allow you guys full access to the place and to, like, to walk around and poke around at things. It's a hospital, and there are currently a few hundred untouchable cast laborers here. Like, they're kept isolated, they're in quarantine. They can't really isolate each individual one because they don't have the facility for it yet, and they don't really know what's going on with the disease. Like, you can't get reinfected. You know, once you're infected, you're infected.
If we only had brainiacs in your little pocket dimensions on hand.
Basement universes.
Yeah.
And, the doctors here are a mix between aliens from other worlds, so, like, stuff like, I don't know, the Asari, you know, reptilians, cyborgs, Cylon machines, and Barons.
Okay.
This is a trade world, so there are aliens that are not from this planet that have come here and are stuck here now in quarantine, or who have volunteered to come on down.
Yeah.
Alright,
I'm gonna pick up some sterilized equipment and start, like, just checking things and looking, you know, just generally getting the feel for the
I'm
air.
gonna head over to a section of quarantined aliens, and I'm gonna look closely.
Sure, do it. A lot of them are confined to bed rest. Some of them are just left with
Maybe
cells.
someone should help you with that so you can roll with
Yeah, I
hope.
can help you with that.
Rover goes in with like his because you're like a little research dude.
Yeah, I'm
It's 10 plus.
There you go. This is how we
Yay,
play
not a
Fellowship, guys.
2. Not yet another 1, for God's
there we
sake.
go.
So what do you got for me?
Well, I mean, basically what I want to do is I want to run a full diagnostic.
Sure.
And, I mean, if I can take, like, some samples.
Yeah.
And just get stuff that we can analyze in our lab and start getting data on the plague.
This is probably going to be your lab. This is where you're going to set you up. Because the space elevator to get you back to your ship is going to take forever, and they're not letting your ship in orbit.
Right, we'll just fly up ourselves.
That would take a while. It takes a while to fly out of that one.
Just
And
like,
to your ship, because your ship isn't in low atmosphere or anything, so you have to actually cross the space to get to it.
And shuttles would probably be noticed because this place has proper
Yeah. It's
spacecraft.
Yeah.
well, I could get through, but
Yeah, you could. They couldn't.
So is there anything, like, from my scan and diagnostics, is there anything that strikes me as unusual about the plague?
It comes in different strains. You're just starting to notice this. Symptoms are not being consistent across victims.
Does it attack only biological components, or does it attack cybernetic components as well? Because the
laborers will have
untouchables
cyber.
have cybernetics.
But they don't get the
No, they
plague.
don't. The laborers, they
Barons.
have no machinery in them.
Oh, the barons have cybernetics.
The barons
The
are
others
cyborgs.
Okay.
They use it for life extension to continue ruling.
Okay. So different strains, huh? So I'm seeing notably different strains even within, say, the same containment chamber.
Yes.
Does,
They seem to match up with people from different areas.
So it seems like it's a dirty bomb of.
does
you
the
know,
plague, but does the plague only affect the sentient species, or does it affect any other life
Animals.
forms or animals or fauna or flora even?
Well, do they have examples of other life forms in here? Or is it just the
None have been
untouchables?
collected.
No, some people will need to collect them. We need a menagerie. Rover, go.
Yeah, none have been collected.
Okay.
They've been focusing on the laborers.
I'm gonna start asking people for their names and where they live, and start creating a mental map that assigns various strains to various locations.
The laborers don't want to talk to you. You're another one of the enforcement machines that the Baron set up to keep them here. Like they had 209s, they think you're one of those.
Also, do you need
If only I had someone who was.
communicate too?
Well, you're communicating through Peter.
Okay.
I can get like the comm signals that these guys broadcast. They're not like.
Yeah, you can hear them. You guys are in communication to like tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, but like on the ship and stuff, are they catching TV broadcasts and stuff like that?
Yes. Do you have something? Do you have a roll you want to throw for that to see if you get something specific or fun or juicy?
Specifically, I'm actually looking for when my character got kidnapped because he got.
What was the feed about?
When he was arrested, he's like, I was saying some nonsense, but I have a greeting to the lowercase members of your special greeting to the lowercase members, and then he got immediately arrested.
It was basically like that's obvious because that's on all channels and stuff. They're recapping that new aliens have come to the planet, new visitors from the Star League, and your Titans, which they're used to. They've actually seen Titanic Star Leaders before, but basically there was some sort of miscommunication with one of their servants, and it was basically glossed over.
Okay.
They didn't even translate what you said.
I'm gonna try and talk sense to them.
Okay. Looks like you'll have to work with Peter though. Peter's translating for you.
Okay, then we're all of hope.
Yeah, well, make your pitch. Both of you make the pitch of what you're trying to talk sense with. You know, justify it through the roleplay, basically.
I'm a doctor. I have no allegiance except to help people get better. And that's what I'm here to do. And the more they cooperate with me and the more information they give me, the quicker I can get that done and get them healed. I don't care at all for their overlords. I don't care for... I'm sorry.
No.
I don't care for... They're of no concern to me. And these Oracle people and Starly, equally of no concern to me. The only thing I care about is people who are sick and making them better.
Okay, Pete.
Well,
Lighter.
I guess I'll add in that, we're of an older race. We don't really, again, mimicking what Tyler was saying, that, we don't care about the rulers. We're not their puppets, whatever. We're far beyond this, petty squabbles here.
Okay, before you roll, their opinion is that your experiments made by the Barons, because the Barons love experimenting and they're curious and they love doing science, and that this is a ruse for them to get to test out their new machines on people who have the plague. They think this is all a Baron political blue blood inbred game. So that's what your pitch is. That's where they're coming from.
Yeah. So I think
Which should be illuminating.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we should prove to them that we're beyond this.
Well, you can roll basically. I'm just telling you what the statement is before your roll, which you just justified.
Yeah.
You justified the roll already. I'm just giving you kind of the size.
That's a 10.
Nice.
So they do as we ask to the best of their ability.
Okay.
So
You both seem too strange for how the Barons usually operate, and this seems... Barons don't have this kind of empathy. Or the ability to think about this kind of empathy as far as they're concerned, so... They'll humor you. They'll tell you what you want to know and see where it takes them.
Okay. So I'm going to start putting together that map.
You don't have to give them anything, right?
No.
They can request it though, right?
I mean, sure, it's the same way that they could just request anything.
A lot of them want to talk to their children.
Okay. Are they in quarantine here?
Yeah.
They're they're behind barriers that would prevent the communication of the disease.
Yeah, they want to talk to their children.
Rover, could you set up some sort of communication?
Yeah,
that
I have an obvious
honest
question. Why? are they not giving communication devices? I mean, this planet is clearly at a point
Yeah.
where
Because
these
the
things
Barons
should
don't
come.
care.
Yeah, why are the children kept... I'll ask one of the other doctors around here. Why are
What
they...
doctor?
Name them.
Well, not even name them, but are you asking the Baron? Are you asking the alien? Are you asking one of the oracles?
I'll ask one... No, the oracles. I'm going to ask one of the alien doctors, as the Barons I don't trust
care.
fully yet.
There's a Hoos doctor here, which means they're your size.
Yeah. The Hoos is the security...
Yeah, Greaves people.
Yeah, there we go. I'm going to go up to him, her,
What's this
whoever.
Hoos's name?
His name is Andre.
Okay.
Andre. And who's Doctor? Okay. Hi.
Cybertronian.
Yes, you speak Cybertronian?
Yes.
Perfect.
I took exolinguistics in my academy days.
Wonderful.
Is Andrea a male or a female? Or something else?
Does it matter?
It's up to you.
I'm gonna just say ambiguous. I'm gonna
Sure.
As a Cybertronian, I don't really.
Cybertronians do, though.
We have male and female. I don't really identify.
Despite being an exobiologist.
I mean,
don't know
I
how
could
they-
if I cared, but you'd have to sex the species, and that's always really invasive.
Well, like the lizard, you have to put your hand up there.
Yeah.
Like,
Pro.
you're like, because you're tall, so you put your hands and you're just like, hello there. You're a male.
I can tell by how agitated this makes you.
Just gonna put my hand inside you and feel around.
And that's how you have the alien probe, memes.
Cosmo's just like, it wasn't me.
We look at Skyway that looks like a UFO.
Anyway,
Anyways,
Andre.
hi. So, is there a reason that children are quarantined separately from the adults here?
We have very few children in quarantine here, but mostly just for observation.
Well, it seems.
Are less children getting sick than adults?
We don't have many cases of the children getting sick. We think it has to do with location.
Elaborate.
They travel.
No, the children don't usually hang out with the rest of the population
Why not?
because they're childcare.
Where are they?
Wait, do you have what's your background on this world?
Presume none.
Okay, one sec. He starts going over his files. He's been taking, or they have been taking notes. All right. So the labor class here, they have a name for themselves. In their language, it basically means them, the people. They lay clutches. Clutches range from 2 to 3 dozen every couple breeding years. They have a larger population. Well, what happens is those clutches will usually be taken by Baron families as childcare so they can raise them and educate them. The colloquial term for it is a playmate situation. So any Baron child is raised with 6 to 12 laborer children as their personal entourage and stay with them through the rest of their life. So we've been seeing very few laborer children getting infection because they're not hanging out with laborer adults.
Interesting.
But the laborer adults still maintain bonds close enough to their children that they would want to see them when they become ill.
Well, yes, there's scheduled, familial days and holidays throughout the year that allow them to reconnect, go back to their nests, engage in culturally sanctioned ceremonies. About once every lunar cycle.
When is the next cycle coming up?
Just passed.
So unfortunately, we're going to see a spike in children. Theoretically.
Well, if they can get back, yeah. Sometimes barons are out on other business.
Yes. Switch. I guess you speak Cybertronian. He speaks Cybertronian. I was.
You
gonna
don't switch to internal comms because you're god
Yeah.
machines.
Switch into internal comms. It sounds horrific, but would it be in the best interest to postpone familial days? until we can decide quarantine effectiveness?
They just passed a familial day. We're not going to have one for a whole other lunar cycle.
How, switching to normal, how long until the next lunar cycle?
20 planetary cycles.
Someone put that on the calendar, please. Thank you. Okay. Sounds good. We can deal with that closer to the day then. Okay. So, would it be okay for the children to see, like, the parents are clearly distraught and would like to...
Andre puts up their hands. You'd have to go through the oracles for that.
Oh, God. Okay.
We can't really... You don't want to push in certain areas.
What's your trick for going through with the oracles?
I submit the paperwork.
Oh. Okay. What do you think?
Well, we'll have to establish some way of people interacting with the infected people. So we'll have to set up some sort of clean rooms, divided up anyway. So
Well,
might
if
as
we
well
Give
set
them
it up.
comms in the meantime. We can put that paperwork started, get it all ready. But in the meantime, if we just set up some comms and some video receivers, it should be fairly easy.
We have that technology in this hospital. That isn't... The technology is
Exactly.
not the reason why it wasn't happening.
The reason is racism.
So
what
Can they-
stopped?
yeah, can we just use that right now?
It isn't to have the parents communicate with the children outside of protocol.
We can do it, but it's going to cause friction.
Hmm.
Because we're breaking customs.
I'm a big fan of these oracles currently.
The oracles did institute this.
Who is?
The Barons did. It's been like this for 1,000 years.
Well, I got a meeting with the Barons later today, so I'll see what I
This is one of the oracles.
I can see what I can do with that. In the meantime, yeah, see what you can do for the parents and the kids, obviously. Thank you,
How
Andre.
about we record some message from the parents, send the
Yeah.
children, and then
that
get that
should be good for now.
at least.
At least we can be a go-between. Andre, what's your take on this plague so far?
Symptoms are difficult to pin down. Some are having epidural damage, some internal organs, some... I've seen some slow skeletal growth, like just irregularities. The one consistent pattern I think I've seen among some of the groups I'm looking at is high metabolism organs seem to be affected earliest.
Okay. Have you noticed any similarities between regions or groups, cities?
The initial work before I got here hadn't done that, and grouping up where they were at what time just hasn't been done.
Okay.
It's next to impossible to get the current patients to cooperate.
Okay. Well, Amble here should be able to help with that. He's good with people.
Yeah, I'm known for my charm.
Yeah, there's one thing.
And then look at over there with groups of Nazis just breaking something up.
And the no-sees. Are they here in the
Oh, yeah.
CDC, in the clean rooms? And the...
Yes, they are with me.
Good.
Andre, has there
Pick up.
been any fear that this plague will spread beyond? The oracles said that it's restricted to planetary creatures. Do you think there's any fear?
It would be awfully strange for a pathogen of this type to jump planetary ecosystems. That's just not how it works.
Okay. Good to know. Do you think there's a chance that the Barons could be infected by it?
I haven't seen any Baron patients or workups since I started here. I just haven't seen them.
Okay. Thank you.
Parents are fairly sedentary, though. They usually don't leave their nesting area.
Yeah, but my risk is if the parents are infected, children become infected, the children go back to the Barrens, spreading that way.
They shrug.
Okay. Very well. Perfect. Thank you for your help. Yeah. I had a good friend in the Woos. I guess a long time ago for you guys now.
Oh, alright.
Captain Greaves.
You know General Grieve?
Yes.
Huh. Have you reached out to him?
Is he in the
I'm like,
system?
there's no way your biological life form lifespan is long enough to have kept him alive.
He's a general. He has leonization technology. He's in orbit.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, he's like one of my ancestors.
Oh. Okay. I will have to reach out to him later then.
Yeah, he's a general. He went through leonization.
Okay. Good to know. Okay, I have a meeting soon, so I will go
Alright.
start prepping for that.
You're heading to the meeting. Let's spin the spotlight to someone else. What other people are doing here? Do you have any plans, Jacob?
It's just basically just a tin cup just going against the non-existent bars. No, like literally I'm stuck in there and I don't know what's going on.
Straight conversation with your guards. Talk nonsense to them until they overload and just fall over and just leave with the
There are
doors open.
L209s walking around.
Okay, so
Play a
yeah.
game with them.
I'm just going to continue trying to talk to them. Do they actually respond to any kind of...
Yeah, they're programmed to respond to prisoners.
Oh, okay.
With violence.
That scene.
Cease.
Someone called 911. I love that scene. It goes on for an hour. An hour of that guy getting shot, and someone's like, someone called 911.
So, alright, I'm going to talk to them and basically... So, I'll just send a quick message back. So, do you want me to try and talk my way out of this one with these guards, or should I just wait the extra day?
We got one day. No use.
Making it worse.
Though you
I
do
just-
have comm access.
Yeah, so I'm just going to basically just go through comms and stuff like that, and generally...
What are you looking for specifically? What kind of information are you looking to pick up from the airwaves? Or from
I'm
the
going to
internet?
I'm going to focus in on since I'm low to the ground, and I know that this was kind of a common thing for us laborers. We used to use our low-range ham radios to have private conversations can be intercepted. I figured
Such as they are.
I got to figure
Tapping into the Teletran network on channels no one watches.
yeah. I got to figure that the labor cast has got to have their own broadcasts, and from what I've heard, so I'm going to try and pick up on that because.
Alright, sure.
And try and get an idea of their culture and get a bit of the language they use.
That sounds like that would be look closely. 1.
No, but I might as well have.
Oh, what'd you get?
I got a 6.
So we can ask one question.
Brutal.
What did
And
you
you
say
find-
about rolling?
That was actually an average roll. My character
Roll
set
out.
sucks.
So you can ask one question and you give the answer the hard way.
Okay.
Huh.
So,
Womp womp womp.
yeah, I'm gonna look closely and. What is going on here? What do my senses tell me? Because I really don't know where to begin.
Like going on just in communications?
Yeah.
It looks like you've tapped into the laborers' kind of back channels where they're talking to each other. You're hearing a lot of people talking about, they've taken away a lot of families. There's talk that there's rumors coming out of the CDC that they're going to cancel like the lunar kind of on average meeting. They heard people talking about that.
The
that people-
lunar meaning?
Yeah, where families meet up with their kids that are in childcare. And people are starting to get antsy and are starting to think that it might be time to start pushing back on the barons again, like they did in the old days.
Oh yeah, this is gonna get. Oh yeah, and a plague is totally gonna make that. Totally not gonna do anything good with that. Let me tell you.
All right. Peter, Tyler, you got anything before we go to Kevin meet with the Baron?
Yeah.
Ian.
Ian, right. Who did I say?
Kevin.
Kevin's not there.
McCavity isn't there.
I and the OCs are going to take a bunch of those recordings that people want to send out to their families. And then we're going to head outside.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Okay.
All right, Ian, you're gonna go meet a Baron.
Before I meet the Baron,
Okay.
can I quickly ascertain, because it shouldn't take me too long to ascertain this knowledge, and I have time to prep before I meet the Baron. Is it possible for me to use comms? Because you said I should know theoretically that Osiris could be able to speak to these people.
Yeah,
Is
because
it-
of the way his biology is, he can hack their language.
Is it possible he can hack their language from the ship?
No, you need to
No.
touch one of them.
Oh, I need to actually touch one. So I do have
He
to
has
bring.
a fucking data, organic
That's
data
fair.
plug.
That's fair.
Avatar style.
So I do have to bring the Viator. I was just wondering if I could, like, how much I needed the Viator for this. Not that I don't want to bring the Viator, but
Just bring down McCavity. Or Osiris.
no, I still don't want to risk him yet. That's. I mean, it's in character. I wouldn't risk.
Get a hoose.
A what?
A hoose.
Oh yeah, I could get. I'll ask Andre if he speaks or if he knows of any.
They.
Or Andre, yeah, if
We're
they
using
speak.
they.
Yeah, if they speak.
Yeah, they have
Baron
a language
and-
protocol for this play.
Oh, perfect. So I'll bring Andre because that leaves the Viator to do something separate. Because I feel like time is needed here,
Unless you want to go on.
unless you want to go along, of course.
Well, might as well check what the Barons are. Yeah.
Good. All right.
Okay, so
Then you're
we'll
gonna
bring
go along.
Andre anyway, as in.
No, we'll leave Andre with Tyler.
Okay, that's fair. Then Tyler has a communication form. Perfect. Okay.
All right, you guys roll out.
Yep.
Okay. So presumably you're given a guide to get here, like a GPS guide, basically. The tag for this planet is if you go off the beaten trail, you will get lost. The highways and the superstructures of the city and all the buildings look so similar that you'll get lost.
Well, is that the...
The location tree is it's a maze.
Ooh, I guess, I won't get lost.
Why not?
Because I got resistance.
Oh shit, man, there you go. Cool.
I'll get lost.
Just stick with me, you little buddy.
Alright, so you guys go across the interstate and the highways and the various on and off ramps following the path on your scouter that you've been given, basically. And it brings you to the towers. Large, gleaming, kind of palatial-looking towers. When you get into them, they have rings around them, and when you park yourself in, the rings basically turn and start going up. So like they're basically outbound elevators instead of internal elevators. And they'll bring you into a large sort of observation area of one of these towers, basically a small sports stadium.
Perfect.
As you walk up, the Baron basically is tapping away on some machinery and creates a hologlyphic recreation of itself at your scale to talk with you.
Clever.
Interesting.
Ah! The Machine Children.
Baron Orlaith, pleasure to meet you.
A pleasure indeed. Excellent to meet you two. I wasn't expecting myself to be contacted in this matter.
We heard you're one of the front runners, quite important in this planet.
All citizens of the Star League are important, as long as they work towards the greater resolution of the Emperex. I am
Fair.
but a humble servant.
Do I glean anything from his, like...
His shit-eating
Oh,
grin.
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take a shit-eating grin as enough.
That's
Okay.
face value.
Yeah. Okay.
You're here for the plague among the labor caste.
Yes.
How very charitable of you.
Yes.
We're hoping this whole situation will wrap itself up and we can continue with trade. The lockdown is impugning many of the negotiations and processes among the oracles he rolled his eyes to allow us into Star League and interplanetary travel. They've shut down the FTL gate on our solar system's edge.
So we've heard.
The relay, such a fascinating device. Pure Naquita.
Must be expensive.
It predates our arrival here. It's ancient beyond compare. Well, maybe you know something about ancient beyond compare.
Yes.
He's talking about the Mass Effect relay. The one at the outskirts of every solar system you visited.
Nice.
They've been mentioned several times.
No. Okay. Well. Yes. We'd like to know your stance on the plague currently.
It's an unfortunate problem, but what are you going to do when you have large populations that move around a lot? This planet is not fully settled. It hasn't been properly curated to Star League standards. You're bound to get these every once in a while. I mean, with the industrialization, the shifting of the oceans, gases being released from us melting the ice caps, this was bound to happen.
Yes.
It's not our fault. We've been trying to get all members of this world to properly follow the Star League standard, but pushback occurs and you get disruption.
Do you have any fears that this plague will not just affect those that it's affected currently?
Our top scientists at the CDC tell us that it would be unreasonable to assume that it could jump biospheres like that.
Do you have anything in place if it does?
We have the CDC and the top scientists. And of course, we have a fair amount of natural separation from the issue. We're here in the higher parts of the towers. We have, controls, separations in place. Should be fine.
I've heard...
We don't go to where these plagues outbreak.
Yes, but I've heard that, unfortunately, some of the children have caught the plague. And you have contact with the children, or at least your children have contact with.
A terrible situation. It's always sad to see a child go through such problems.
Yes. Do you... I would like to get in contact with any of the children whose, I'm going to use the word friends, have caught the plague.
And for what purpose?
I'd like to know if any of the other, they just call them untouchables, eh?
Laborers.
If any of the other laborer children in their group have also caught the plague or are showing any hidden symptoms, and I'd like to, just for our own safety and for your own safety, make sure that this cannot jump between the laborers and yourselves, as that would become quite disastrous, as you can imagine.
Well, by all means, please take the children.
Damn, okay. Yes, do you have any,
Of course, my aunt have playmates, same as any other baron.
Perfect. Have any of those playmates been infected, do you know?
No. Someone of my stature, usually, we have established families.
Okay. I still would like to meet with...
There's a lot of subtext going on here.
Yeah. I still would like to meet with your... If you wouldn't mind, I'd like a sample from you, from your child, and from some of your child's playmates.
Oh, absolutely. Go for it.
Perfect. And then, if you could please get me in contact and the directions to one of the infected children's playmates. Infected
Playmates.
Children?
I think I get what you're saying. Yes, I'll just reach out to the oracles and have you cleared.
Is there any way we can do this a little quicker than the oracles?
Unfortunately, this is the way. They have to make sure that your communication
I'm
with
gonna
the
pull
other
out.
party is compatible.
I'm gonna pull out just a valuable item, not my prize tool, but I have a valuable item with the tagline "precious." Sometimes the word of a friend can speed things along without all this protocol.
So you want to talk sense to them. it
Yeah,
seems.
you're gonna try to talk sense to get an advantage using that precious, right?
Yeah.
To bribe him.
Yeah.
All right, talk sense.
Mind if I
Or in general,
go
like
into
talk
this?
sense
Go
and
for it.
that's like, all in favor of opinions with precious. Because precious items in themselves don't like
He
convey.
has stats related to not fucking around with the oracles.
Yeah.
Talk sense. What do I use for talk sense here? Talk sense is. I'm gonna use wisdom.
To appeal their emotional
Or-
desires.
Yeah, talking to his emotional desires. So that'll be a 9. Yeah,
So
9.
you owe them a favor.
So I owe him a favor, which is the precious thing, I assume. that
Sure.
I'm giving?
You have advantage. Finish him.
Okay. Finish them?
Yep.
Any stat? What am I trying to do? I'm trying to
Oh boy.
Kill him and take his stuff.
Yeah,
Show
murder
them the
him.
error of their ways with wisdom, maybe.
Yeah,
There it
yeah.
is.
And 3 dice still, or 2?
You're working with no one, bro.
Well, I'm working with Viator. Viator, you want to give me a little help here?
Yeah, how are you gonna both with wisdom get him? Get him.
Well, I could always give you, the Jedi advice that I've learned from Tyler. Like, I think our best way, if you want to speed the wheels, is to circumvent the oracles as much as you can, and that's the
Perfect.
thing I gave you to.
Fully agree with you, Viator. That'll be a 8. So it'll be an 8.
Some damage.
So he has 3 stats. One is related to him being a good follower of the Star League and the Oracle's patterns.
Yep.
One is related to being a rich plutocratic baron, and one is related to also following the pattern, but more. Because he wants to be a power-hungry despot.
So I guess we just damaged one of those
Yeah.
stats about following the pattern.
Yeah, one of the following.
Sure. Ding.
Okay.
I'm not too sure. It seems awfully treasonous for me to go against the Oracles after we've invited them to our world. We want to be good members of Star League after all, and all that comes with it. You must understand. It's just easier to go through the Oracles. It's just a day.
Could you say it's just a day if it was your own child's?
Yes. Star League demands it.
You know we're older than the Star League, right? You know we have more sway in certain things.
Yeah.
Right, but the Star League's here now.
Well,
Look up to the 2 giant ships in the atmosphere.
They don't dominate the atmosphere. They're in space, brah. The ISS is huge. It's still a dot in the sky.
how about we speak softly to get some info on him as a way to get an advantage? To figure out what he's all about.
Sure.
You didn't
Go
think that
ahead.
would happen. What if it was your child? Yeah, I don't care.
I'd sacrifice 10 of my children just to get,
One can always have more heirs.
There you go. That's 10 plus and speak softly. So, we'll go 3 questions for the list. And they must answer honestly.
All right.
What should I be wary of when dealing with the Baron?
That he has no soul.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
What do they want? How can we help them get it?
He wants to be a mad despot of this world in the name of the Star League, which will definitely happen once the Oracles leave and the Star League re-accepts them, and he just makes sure to give them tribute every year.
Okay.
You can best do that by eliminating his competition violently.
Do you relay this to me?
I mean, yes.
I
mean, that's...
I'm giving it. It's like in Deus Ex where there's the negotiation implant. You're like seeing the little HUD pop up.
Omega, yeah.
Alpha, Omega. You're like, he's a Type A sociopath.
Release pheromones.
I've been maced.
Then, Jensen, did you just reuse the central implant on me? So
It's like, we have formulated a chemical that will please organics. This axe spray comes out.
what other question would you like to ask?
On what? Sorry.
What other questions? Speak softly, would you like to ask?
Pure ethanol. Make fun of that chemical. That gets some surprising
You've
results.
asked, what should I be wary of? What do they want? What would they have us do next?
Follow the rules and stop making a fuss about the laborers.
You know what the Star League would really like, I think, is someone who could solve their world's problem quickly and efficiently without a huge help from them. You know, showing that their planet and their leadership of their planet, I'm using the there as in him, very insinuating, you know, is worthy of the Star League, and they can handle it all on their own, and that it's others who are slowing down and killing these innocents here.
So you can't see it, but in the back of his mind, he's doing some math, and he's like, yeah, it was those fucking oracles I called the quarantine in, and if he can show them up as total assholes, it would probably maybe an instant to speed this along. So that's your advantage. Finish.
Finish him. 3 dice still?
Yeah.
Are you still, yeah, you're still holding
Good
it.
here.
Come on, dice.
This species is curious, they're inventors and
That'll be an
scientists.
8 again.
So just damages others.
Yeah, so I'll damage
allegiance
this
towards-
other allegiance.
towards
stat.
Star
What
League.
was the last stat I gave him? It was
That he's, you know, a rich oligarch.
Yeah, it's a stat for him being him, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so he's still a curious science guy.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense to me then. But what could I do?
I'm sure, as you say, you have families here?
Yes.
Family lines? I'm sure one of the lesser families' playmates has been infected. So if you could point me to that family today now, then I can do some research, getting quicker results, showing that your initiative helped this drastically.
So Rover comes to the family, bubbles up entire brood, and takes them for experimenting.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. There was a motorway vehicular incident a few weeks ago, and I know a few people have been missing since then.
A few barons have been missing since then?
Yes.
I guess he wouldn't use the word people with laborers.
You caught on! How many's a few?
3, 4?
I could swing that. Sure.
Okay. Perfect. I don't actually like.
He's gonna disappear a few people and give them to you.
Oh, I just wanted to see them today.
Yep. And then they'll turn back up.
Okay, so they'll be here in shortly, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's gonna be a merry mix-up with hospitals and ambulances.
Okay. Perfect. So I guess we're waiting like an hour. We can swing the spotlight.
Yeah. Well, we could. You'll basically get a group of barons you can just take to examine and stuff, like whatever subjects you wanted.
I specifically wanted
Laborer.
children
Yeah.
and the laborer children who had been in the laborer children
you
who had
get
been
access to
infected,
them.
and the barons that were with those laborer children when they were found to be infected.
Yeah. You get your access.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I swing a day so
Yeah,
we can bring Markin? Can I give you the results of your labor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that work?
I guess.
Okay.
Dun dun dun.
All right. So what were you doing while Rover was doing that?
I was heading out to the city.
What were you looking for?
Sick people.
Okay, your first foray into the city looking for sick people, I'm going to say you don't really find much, specifically because the oracles and the part of the city you're in doesn't have sick people and you're kind of being like guided along the roadways, they kind of keep you in a loop around the good part of town.
Uh-huh.
And you'll figure that out when day 3 happens, basically. It's like, wait a minute.
Okay.
Palpatine. My pal, friend Patine. Alright, so, day 3. You're released. Literally, like, 72 hours to the moment that you're incarcerated, you're released.
Okay. Man, didn't
Observation has ended. Subject seems stable.
Alright. See you later.
Yeah, and the highway kind of lights up, like, on the HUD or whatever to show you where to go to meet up with your...
I'll drive back.
So it's the morning. You have all the info that you guys have gathered over the last 2 days.
Okay. The info that I've gathered. First of all, were any of the other children infected that were in that play group? That were, like, asymptomatic?
Look closely.
Okay. I'm gonna not fuck this up. So I'm gonna use...
Peter doesn't have a way to investigate them.
I'm gonna use my books and catalog, which allows me to look closely. I can answer 2 questions from look closely without rolling anything.
Oh.
And I'm gonna specifically be asking, were any of the children, and I use the word children as in the barons and non-barons, were any of them asymptomatic or any of them infected, but the symptoms weren't lining up with other symptoms? Basically, are any of the children I'm studying affected? Barons included.
One of the laborer children had symptoms that didn't match up with any other ones on record.
Okay.
They're from a different part of the continent. Same continent, though.
Okay. None of the Baron children were infected?
None that you found.
Okay. That's good. Second one. What's going on here? What are my senses telling me?
In what context? For what's going on here?
Like, I'm seeing symptoms from different continents. Symptoms. I'm assuming I have access to some of Amble's research because I'm sharing his. Yeah. So we're seeing, between the two of us, we're seeing symptom lines, I assume, lining up with like different areas.
Yes, you're starting to get a picture that, some of these strains are coming from specific locations.
Do these look like, are my senses telling me this is how an actual virus spreads, or does this look like engineered or anything like I've seen with, because I've clearly done gene engineering in the past, and I've also studied Waspinator stuff. Is anything clicking there, or does it look like this is natural?
The way this is spreading makes it seem like there are new infection sites at these locations.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
But it's all on the continent.
Still on this continent. Have we found anyone from outside of this continent?
0.
Okay, so we need to start looking into that next. Okay, so it does look like new viruses, for lack of better words, or new strains of this virus.
They're strains. They're the same virus, but
okay.
Different strains.
So it seems like there's new strains popping up in different areas.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Amble. So you went out to the city looking for stuff. Do you want to look closely at that at all?
Sure.
Now that you're here, we'll then swing to you on your rotation. Oh, sorry, it's been a bit quiet on your end.
No, it's fine.
I know you were the first one to get hit, and that sucks.
Yeah. 10.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Ask good questions.
Is something hidden or out of place?
All right. We're gonna blow past the fact that you figured out they were keeping you in a sort of safety zone.
Mm-hmm.
The areas that you were driving through look curated. Like, now that you're reviewing your files and your memory and like you're talking to the other mini-cons you have with you, it seems clear that the people you saw when you were driving through were staged.
Interesting. Tell me about the oracles. What are they doing and what will they do next?
The oracles will continue following to the letter the quarantine procedure put in place for a planetary quarantine like this. which is if they can't figure out a way to deal with, which the quarantine technically shouldn't be in place because the laborers wouldn't be considered enough of a problem to quarantine the planet for. That's something that's super out of place here. There's no reason for this quarantine.
On private chats, is it possible that with all our research we've found that some barons are creating this plague and have used their power to quarantine the planet up into the point where they know that they'll be the ones in charge? Like, is this a
Power play?
A power play, basically a stalling point
To embarrass the oracles.
to embarrass the oracles or their opponents until they hold enough power, cure everything, Starfleet comes in, they're in power, good. But while they're not in power, plague's still
Or
going on.
maybe more like, they don't want to join the Star League.
Or they don't want, yeah.
So they just want to cut themselves off.
What do you think, Campbell?
I don't know. I don't have enough information on that.
Fair enough. Reasonable assumption, though.
I think it's worth checking out.
Okay.
Is the quarantine league in place maybe to... Are they concerned about waspinator?
Also worth checking out.
Do they know waspinators here? Has Depth Charge told them that?
Depth Charge is the Starleague personnel that put the quarantine in place.
So Depth...
That Charge is doing this to lock off.
Interesting. I wonder if he locked it down just to keep waspinator.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
The trick is, though, that even though he's the one who called in the level 0, an oracle had to be the one to request it. They're the only ones that have the official capacity to make it happen.
So he somehow convinced an oracle?
So an oracle said, our planet needs a level 0 quarantine. Depth Charge said, I am from the Star League, and so are they, and I concur, and we are now in a level 0 quarantine. And because of how the rules of the Star League works, he is the ultimate authority in this quarantine now.
Neat.
It's kind of like in Star Trek Voyager, when the crippled Voyager and another Starfleet ship come upon each other, and they're talking about whether to scuttle the other ship, and the captain doesn't want to, and Janeway's like, I don't actually have to listen to you, because according to Starfleet directives, when there are two captains of equal rank, and their ships are in combat against a unified enemy, the ship that is the least damaged and the most accessible supersedes it, and can take control of the fleet. And the other captain's like, that's for active combat, not for, like, us draining out in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. You're bending the rules to fit what you want. She's like, it doesn't matter. I actually have authority over you now. You're my subordinate.
The
Fucking Janeway.
Yeah.
So good.
Okay.
Now that you're kind of starting to see the picture of this, something's going on because this quarantine, no one would care about the laborer class enough for this. There's not even that much of a death toll. Like, the plague is alarmingly large at this point.
But it's like, not even a tenth of what the coronavirus is to give an...
It's spreading at an alarming pace.
So, what other questions do you want to ask, Tyler?
What will happen if I leave curfew?
They won't actively try to curtail you.
But you'll get lost.
But, yeah, 1, you might get lost if you don't have a guide. And 2, it will cause problems.
There will be friction.
Yeah, there'll be friction from this.
Okay, those are my 3 questions.
Alright. So we'll spin the spotlight over to Mark. Sorry.
So, I got no clue.
Well, probably we'll need to go with Amble out into the actual cities and investigate, because you seem to be having a better connection with the laborers, and he knows what he's looking at, so that's probably your best vector of approach, and maybe together we won't get lost. Guess I'll have to talk with the oracles, because something doesn't add up here with the bureaucracy. Try to push past that and put in some contingency plans for what might happen if the laborers get agitated.
So, I don't know if I cut you off, but I was just going to give you this bit of info. So I'm going to go from the top down of what you need from most important to least important and tell you what you don't have. You don't have a cure.
Yeah.
You don't have any prevention, like inoculations or any sort of like separating people or any policies in place. You don't have any treatment. You don't have any vaccines. You don't have any policies that would allow you to kind of keep it from spreading. You don't have any information about what the infection vectors are, basically what they're attacking to cause the symptoms. You don't have a transmission. You don't have you don't have a quarantine policy in place. You don't have a symptom profile, and you don't have any ways to test for this other than just do some pretty good one-on-one checks.
We do know that they're attacking the high metabolism organs.
You have that bit of info from some of the strains.
Yeah.
It seems to be a common thing, but it's very loose.
Yeah, that's fair.
So right now you have an outbreak, and you don't have the 9 things that would lead to a cure.
Okay.
List those things again.
I'll give you a
Post
chart.
on the- Okay.
It's a chart. But the 3 things you need to kind of move through it are a proper quarantine policy, a symptom profile, and an actual fucking test.
Okay.
Like a way to test for
So-
the disease.
Were you able to identify like an actual is a bacteria or nothing like that?
It's a virus.
Okay, so there is a virus. Okay.
Yeah, it's not bacterial, but it is viral.
Okay. I think I should leave the oracles. Does anyone want to come with and discuss policies?
Oh god, no, I'll end up beating these oracles.
Fine.
Yeah, we might be looking at they were talking about they're not the labor cast ain't too happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
This place might be looking at a bit of an uprising, which I don't think would help. Maybe we could. I think it's got to do something with the travel these guys do.
Yeah.
Sure.
If Amble and I, we should start, if we work on at least finding some kind of link between all of these so we can diagnose it easier and quicker.
Great.
Does that sound
So, yeah.
fair?
I think the 2 of you should be working on the biological stuff of it. But someone also needs to go and check out the actual hot zones where it's coming from. We should only have the map.
Yeah.
So that would be
Check
me
out
and someone else.
Yeah, one of you. We need to talk with the oracles to get things moving in place early on, because it'll take a while for them to get the gears moving on other stuff. And also we need to start clearing the picture, because someone's messing here with everything.
Yeah.
So we need to figure
Someone, this is deliberate. This is not
Yeah.
natural. We've established that for the most part.
Yeah. So, who goes where with you guys?
And yeah, for those 3 things I gave you, you can basically tackle them as if they were encounters, like they're a scene or a set piece that you have to kind of pull apart.
Okay.
So figure out how you want to do that, and you don't have to. There is no set way for you to build a test. So if you want to build a test, you guys can do it in the lab, or you can be like, well, I know what to build a test. I'm going to go and be among the people and stuff, and figure it out from there. And you guys are basically driving how to solve the plague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through the lens of how your characters solve problems.
Yep. So, shall we go talk to some of these laborers and figure it out? Because clearly these are the people being affected. We need to find out more about how they live, and because there's got to be stuff we're missing here.
Yeah.
Sure, I want to go to the epicenter
Yep.
of an outbreak and start working on patients to try and figure out as much of the virus as I can.
Do it.
All right, so yeah, we'll do that. We'll head out to.
Ian, do you tackle anything? You wanna go with them?
I'm gonna go back and talk with Baron Orlaith because I want to see if I can ascertain if the Barons have anything to do with this, or if because he's already weakened, or does he heal now that it's been
He'll recover over time.
over time? But how Yeah, but he might be more pliable to talking with me, kind of. Yeah, I'm gonna try and ascertain if he knows of anything or can think of anything.
So, who do we want to start with? You guys, you or me?
Well, I think Mark, because Mark
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
out for the
yeah,
longest.
so say.
His scene might end up wrapping up the session just because, we're at 10:15.
Yeah.
Alright, so let me pause real quick. Come back. Alright, and we're back. So, and that's Amble and Jackamup.
Yeah.
You guys are heading out to Labor Center. How are you going to get there? They're going to try and keep you on the motorcade.
Remember what your friend Tintin taught you?
Tim Tom.
Hey, you want to play a game involving driving really fast and leaving these guys behind? Or do you want to try talking to them?
I don't really go that fast these days, but I'm not a fan of talking. Let's say we just drive casual.
Well, you can always ask him to, jack you up.
Alright, so yeah, I'm going to,
get away?
yeah, I'm going to, well, specifically, I think, should I bother getting away or should I pull off the other one? Yeah, I guess I can't really keep them busy.
I'm gonna
Please tell me what's the
backseat
different
drive.
dice.
The first time I rolled and the second time I rolled were with different dice.
Alright.
I'm gonna backseat drive and tell you exactly what to do. Just to give you hope.
So I have despair now.
I am in despair.
Alright.
Why are you stealing my dice? You've got 3 of them. Didn't you? Why did you lose a die?
Oh my god. Oh, there it is. I see it. It's in between the black and red cable.
Along with the shotgun shell.
It's down there. It makes those 27 pencils.
And 56
There you
earbuds.
7,392 grains of rice.
Okay, so that would be an 8.
Hey, that's pretty okay.
Choose one.
So you get there quickly avoiding harm, you get there quietly drawing no attention, you grab someone nearby and bring them with you.
You can get yourself.
Get fucked.
No, there is going to be a there's going to be danger and there is going to be attention.
Well, there's no real danger to you because they're not gonna shoot you. But if there was danger, you'd get nailed by it.
I mean, there won't be danger to them, but, off-road drive!
Alright, so you guys smash through an off-ramp barricade and leave the central city area. Just gonna increase the friction check mark.
So it was
As we jump off the ramp and go down the street, all of the no-sees are leaning out of the ambulance, just hooting and hollering and slapping the side.
I imagine one of them hanging out and kind of the green one's kind of hanging out all limp like the Joker in Dark Knight.
Yeah.
we.
No!
Alright, so threat 2, now that you've created friction, is Sheriff. Someone throws up to try to arrest you when you're out in public.
Oh no!
Alright, so you're getting tailed by local authorities.
Okay.
Not your entourage, just an authority, one of those Ed 209s, catches that and goes into its robot mode, its vehicle mode, and starts driving after you.
Polmar Molbert.
Alright, I wait till it pulls over to the side.
Present identification.
Here we
You
go.
have
Let
5
me just-
seconds to comply.
So the automated diagnostic machines will start basically going over and removing pulls. These things are uncovered, so it's basically just pulling stuff off it. So I'm gonna try and keep them busy.
Okay. And it is a threat. So you do have to get rid of it.
That would be a 9.
Hey, okay, so they'll retaliate against you, so now they're going to open fire.
Or pay a price.
Oh, sweetie.
Or you can pay a price. Wait.
It's an overcome,
Oh no, that's overcome for paying a price. No, they're going to retaliate when that time is up, so they're busy right now.
Yeah, okay.
Who else is doing something?
I'm gonna finish them. Because he's keeping them busy.
Yeah, you're right. Do it.
Okay. I'm gonna show them the error of their ways. The nosies are gonna get out before I turn into my
And they're all like ground up inside of you.
Don't want to make that mistake.
Again.
Tim Tum, no.
And then I'm gonna limp over to the cop car and be like, "Look, I'm a doctor. I'm on my way to help the people of this city who are in great pain and suffering. And as a fellow servant of the public, surely you can understand that this is a mission of mercy and on the benefit of society. So why don't you give us an escort?"
All right, roll it.
I'm sorry, they put my siren out. I'll do it right now.
That's a 6.
I serve the true people, the barons.
6. I don't think so.
Can you give him hope?
He's keeping busy.
Oh yeah.
Stop resisting.
That sounds like.
Can we give you hope over the cops? Don't fuck
Okay.
up whatever you're doing.
All right. All right. So the last thing it said was you have 5 seconds to comply, and then he made that speech, and it looks at him like the Ed 209 looks at him as you're like pawing at it. Looks at you. There's a beat. Blam 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 blam. Exactly like in the boardroom scene.
Yeah.
All right. Damage coming your way.
Okay. Okay. I will overcome
All right.
with
Because
blood.
it's a soft cut.
How are you overcoming? What are you doing?
I'm gonna ram him and smash him into bits. Once he opens fire.
Just start bashing him on the freeway.
I am going to help you by picking up my I-beam and then jamming it into his guns.
Oh yeah, we're gonna pull a Temple of Doom, was that one, or was it Ark of the?
I was just imagining a curb stomp.
Oh, okay.
It's an Ed 209, and you guys are just gonna like curb stomp it. X gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Of course not. That would be a 7.
I mean, hey, that's overcoming. So pay a price.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's a 6 actually. Oh, you're helping me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Oh
good.
my God, guys, this is amazing.
Yeah, that would be a fail.
Okay, well you take damage then.
Okay.
Blam 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 on the freeway.
Okay.
Why not just spend one of your fellowship members' stats?
Yeah, I was
to gain
just
all-
about to
Okay.
do that.
Thank Christ.
I'm going to
Thank
use
you,
Bound in
Jesus.
Service, and I'm going to damage one of the no-see stats. I'm going to go, boys, let's get rowdy! No!
A-cab, A-cab.
And then they're going to give me advantage, and I am going to try and finish him with blood.
All right, do it.
You murdered this poor animal cop.
There's no one inside it. It's a robot.
We're robots.
No, you're not. The
Yeah.
divine messenger.
That's a 10.
Of Primus. Okay. Its stats were present identification and to punish and enslave. So you've knocked both of those out and defeated it.
Okay, I just bring the I-beam down on it and crush it. And you
It's on its back, flailing
you
like
take
the
damage?
H109.
Yeah.
Okay, I heal that.
Cool.
With little wood. Well, looks like we bumped up against the locals.
Those
Yeah,
dot
this
rays-
game isn't nearly as fun as the other planet.
Those dot
They
rays
take this
exist.
way too seriously.
Yeah, it does.
I'm gonna use a bottle of to heal my. I have another damage. I don't know what from, but I'm just gonna heal.
Well,
that.
if you had
Previous adventures.
it earlier, then he could have healed you by then.
Yeah, I can just heal you next scene.
Oh, okay.
So you have your bottle still.
Anyway, you destroy that police drone and drive off.
Yeah. Can you like hook it on the back of your vehicle and drag it behind you?
Sparks flying on the
Yeah, sure.
motorway.
Why not?
Might impress the laborers.
Actually, that's a good point there.
I'm one of you rioters.
Okay, so there.
Hooligans.
Pepsi.
Christ.
We'll turn it into the Pepsi machine.
Well, like you have that move, Peter, so you can grab a Pepsi machine and give it life and be like, it's a Pepsi to Autobot.
Yes.
All it does is give riot police drinks and solve racism. Fucking Lord, that's a good ref. What is this, Sigmata?
Just wait for
I was
that
going
game.
to. I'll take much though.
You have to accumulate 6 million Pepsis.
We have to get 6
Solve
million
race.
cans of Pepsi to solve the fascism.
I mean, you know, by giving the diabetes or killing them, sure. Or by bashing them in.
We tried to talk to him.
You almost had it. You could have talked it down. It's dumb.
Just rolled really bad.
That seems to be the thing.
It's doing great. It means you guys are going to burn through resources on this shithole.
What threat level do we go?
Oh, you're threat level 3. Show of force. I get a free hard cut against you guys. So I can just make.
Oh no.
So enjoy that. It doesn't get better from here.
Just wait till level 5.
Level 5 is the last lesser threat. Level 6 is Flavor Town. You think you could escape Flavor Town? A Fiari Red Dragon.
Oh, God.
That'd be an awesome Escape from Flavor Town would be awesome.
We'll run a Feng Shui game with that.
Alright, so you are driving out. There are many labor locations across this planet because life is a fucking nightmare. What kind of labor are you looking for? Energy, construction, manufacturing?
Sick labor.
Yeah, well, I mean, we, so I talked to the people who were sick.
Yeah.
And I got, like, a map of places where they were from.
Yeah.
So I'm looking just basically for the biggest cluster.
I think Demon's telling you, command lore, which industry has the biggest cluster.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, I wasn't clear enough about it, but that was kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, what would be cool for you? What would you think is good?
Do you have any thoughts?
I think it could either be, I don't know what the vector is, but energy production would be one alternative, or it could just be construction if they're digging up stuff.
I like energy construction.
Energy? Yeah.
Yeah, I like energy. That sounds like a good one.
Energy sounds like that seems to be something we'd have some kind of...
Let's do it.
All right, laborers at a Naquita plant. Okay, yeah, you arrive on scene. It's the equivalent of a nuclear reactor, like a nuclear power plant, but it runs on Naquita, that energon-enriched material that they use for FTL. So, you know, it's built from normal material, but it has, you know, Naquita power sources in it that the plant manages and keeps hot and stuff. So yeah, there's probably a few hundred people that work at this plant, and a lot of them are outside milling about. You know, there's security, there's transportation in and out, supplies, all that sort of stuff. It's a power plant. And you guys are driving on scene
with hauling a dead
security droid.
security droid.
Yeah, sirens blaring.
Sirens blaring.
Wheel.
Alright, you're on scene. What happens?
Alright, so look around for some laborers.
Sure, they're all around.
Okay, a laborer version of Jacqueline is sitting in the front seat of the...
Hey, what you doing? Would you like a Pepsi?
Fucking Christ. This beverage kills fashion.
Yeah, actually, he will have stopped at a vending machine. He's learned how to do this, and picked up a few local consumables, and he'll hand out some of them and just...
Yeah, you can like get out of the vehicle and stuff. Like you have that ability. It's a hollow matter.
Yep. And just like, hey,
It's Arnold Brimmer once he gets the hard light projector.
puncture repair kit on standby. So, and I'll just basically just, hey, what's going on? And
Traveler? You're hauling a presser.
Yeah, it broke down.
Huh.
The guy looks over at what is your character doing at this point?
I'm kicking it.
Are you in robot mode?
I am now.
Oh, okay, so we're not going incognito.
Not very incognito.
Would it be incognito for us to roll up his cars and start talking to them?
Yeah, remember you have little avatars.
We can simulate
They're
those.
hollow matter avatars.
Yeah.
Your hollow matter avatar is kicking it.
Sure.
Yeah, people are walking, you know, some of them are they're laughing at it. It's like, yeah, there's a good scene going on. People are having drinks, they're enjoying it.
So yeah, pulls out a can of spray paint. Another thing he picked up from Tum Tum, and just sort of gives it a unflattering paint job because
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people are gathering around you. You have a captive audience.
Hey, people, what sort of genitalia do you have on this planet?
Well, captive in loose terms. Captive as in they're paying attention to you, not captive as in their children.
We don't capture children.
No, not you, the barons.
I mean, you so just did.
So, what have you been
I
taking?
didn't take them.
Oh, man. So, I've been hearing about all this crazy stuff with the disease. Why don't you I've heard that the whole thing was just done up by the barons.
Wouldn't put it past them after they sided with the oracles.
Yeah.
They'll do anything to keep their power.
Yeah, those oracles. Man, I don't get them at all.
Can't trust outsiders.
So yeah, basically, I'm going to nonsense about how I've been hearing more about all this stuff, and I'm going to lie convincingly. So
Go for it.
I will talk nonsense.
Do it.
You want to give me a hand?
Please help us.
Advise them. Do his Jedi stuff.
What are you doing exactly?
I'm trying to get them to talk as a local, so that pretend to be local, so they talk openly about what they know about the plague and their own.
Jack him up. Use your jack him up charm.
I'm using the jack 'em up charm.
You're my jack 'em up choice.
You can lead the conversation
Yeah,
because
if
you
we're-
actually know what's going on. Jack 'em up has no idea.
If we're just kind of faking being locals and talking to them, I can get on board with that. I don't want to get too deep into deceiving these people, though.
I know, Autobot, not Decepticon.
Wait, who's your translator again?
Andre. You brought Andre.
Andre's the size of you guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a hoose. They're the same size as you.
Oh. Well, you brought Andre. He's your translator.
Shit, that's gonna make the deception thing harder.
Yeah, actually, I think the deception thing just went
Out the
went
window.
out the window. 'Cause I thought for some reason that we didn't really need
We'll
the
play it
translator.
straight.
Yeah,
So
we'll play it straight.
Andre will.
Well, your Hollow avatars can look like anything. You don't have to look like these aliens. They can look like other aliens.
Okay, yeah,
No,
let's.
but I think we should just level with them. I think we
Yeah,
should
okay.
come in robot form with Andre leading the way, and
The Hollow Matter thing with Andre translating would also be pretty good, actually.
Oh,
The big thing you're gonna run into is these guys don't think machines are alive.
So just have them in your ambulance, just talking on the intercom through one of the holograms.
Well, no, like if you have a Hollow Matter avatar and who's there translating and stuff.
or I could just bust this whole thing up.
they don't have
How
to think
about-
I'm alive as long as they think I'm there to help.
I'm going to.
Yeah, but they'll think you're more likely there to help if you look like one of them and you say,
But I'm gonna have to treat
Or-
them in robot form eventually.
Or they go into your ambulance and you treat them in vehicle mode.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll use hollow forms.
Go into the ambulance and we'll just knock you out, one by one.
Yeah, like you have advanced machinery in your your alt mode.
Rolling bullshit with hope?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, finally, the curse is broken. 14.
Alright, I don't know what that means. You tell me.
That means that is a talk sense,
Okay.
I believe.
So what do you want to convince them of?
Talk sense, what's the words? Basically, I want them to talk to us and tell them about the plague and their experiences with it and what their own version of what's going on in the history, because we're only getting the crazy version of it.
Alright, well, let's do this in stages then.
Okay.
Maybe start with like the background stuff and go from there.
Yeah.
Ask your question.
Okay. What is their perspective on the what are those guys called? The
Barons. Oh, no, the
Oracles.
Oracles.
Yeah, what's their perspective on the oracles?
The barons and the laborers were in essentially a brutal, unending war for the last 1,000 years, for control of the planet, because the barons showed up and tried to take it over and were using their advanced technology and whatnot. But because so much time was passing, the technological advantage of the barons was falling apart. Like, they were getting less advanced as time went on because they didn't have their space resources were breaking down and stuff.
And
So the laborers were actually starting to win back and take the planet back, and were about to basically force the barons into a sort of they would have to sue for peace basically, and it would probably have turned the conflict around completely and changed the entire dynamic of the planet. And then the Barons, as a last-ditch effort they absolutely did not want to do, contacted the Oracles and had them come in and try to make this a member's planet. The Barons never wanted to be part of Star League. They only sold the planet to Star League. Like, they were going to come out here to be an independent planet that wasn't part of the League, and they only sold themselves back out when they thought they would lose their power.
Yeah, that's more viable. And my next question would be:
The laborers don't have any love for the Barons for obvious fucking reasons. But if they had to say who their real enemy was, it's the Oracle and the Star League. They are actively working to take down the Oracles.
huh.
They know how to deal with the Barons. They know they understand that enemy. They've been in a blood war for 1,000 years.
And at the end of the day, they're kind of like, well, they're bastards. They're selfish bastards. Whereas the Oracles are all sort of their reasoning and the way they.
And they're going to bring
is.
in technology and resources that will always keep them under heel.
Okay.
Fucking up the Star League petition is their best chance.
So what's life like? Actually, what is that? So do they know anything about the plague? Have they learned any ways to avoid it, or is it all just rumors and bullshit? Or
what they're trying to do to keep the plague under control is they try to observe the sick, check for any people who have outward damage are more likely to go terminal, but don't seem to be as infectious than people who have internal damage. And they're noticing that people who deal in the energy sector are getting sicker faster, so they're cycling through people who are doing shifts in the energy plants.
so they swapped over to Energon, and we already know this stuff took place back in the Energon situation, so that's bad. I'm going to trigger. Is there any way we can convince them that we're not a part of the Star League and we are a separate polity? Do I think of anything after talking with them for a while, just like a potential?
What do you think would convince them?
Public declaration of not being with the Star League. We could
And keep in mind, actions are basically what they run off of because they're used to being lied to.
We could trash these guys. We could just trash them at 209s.
Don't promise
I've
something.
trashed them.
Well, these security forces are their big issue. We could also bring them. Material items. Is there anything they need for that they're short on?
They need materials and components for petroleum-based generators, solar plants, and hydroelectric facilities. The laborers don't use Naquita technology.
Yeah, probably wise of them. And they don't seem to have their own communication gear either.
No, they have
They do?
comms and stuff. Like
Oh.
they have technology. They just don't use Naquita tech.
Yeah.
They don't rely on it because that's what the Barons do, and the Barons are fucking morons. Naquita tech breaks down. All their tech is based off the planet's resources.
So we could manufacture some of this stuff. It's not exactly a huge deal for us to composite. I mean,
We could just give them a replicator, press a button to get a solar panel. And someone's a collector that might just jury rig something.
Yeah, and bear in mind, I'm all on board with helping out the plight of these laborers, but we need to focus on the primary thing here, which is the plague.
what about antivirals?
And what about what?
Well, I don't know. These administering these guys seem to be doing a lot of their own care themselves. Administering, I know from dealing with you, there's some basic medical stuff that we have that's broad spectrum that might be useful to treating it, right? I mean, I'm sure we've been to like a bajillion planets. You've got to have some different agents that.
Possibly. Nothing guaranteed yet.
We need to study the virus before we can determine that.
You give these people a tangible thing they can use. Like if you use actual actions to help them, they'll put you in talk with one of their own physicians who's actually medically trained, who has a profile.
And who isn't one of these freaking Oracle idiots that are.
He's a
impossible to
laborer.
work with.
She's a laborer doctor, and is board certified on this planet. She's class exempt, and has been specifically not giving her findings to the Central Planet Authority and been keeping it under wraps.
We want that info.
Okay, well, it's a good thing that we have a chemical production unit with us. So I'm gonna burn Boilermaker. He's gonna exhaust his region component, and he will come up with some antiviral. You can get chemicals that will treat viral infections. So
med supplies?
Yeah, med supplies.
Let's abstract it a bit. Med supplies.
Med supplies, yeah.
Do it.
All right, burn it.
Sorry. No, I shouldn't have jumped on that. Med supplies are great, but they don't want you to give them a bunch of wheat and a bunch of medicine. They want you to give them tractors and plows and stuff. It's a saying in developing countries. People don't want.
They want
tons of
infrastructure.
wheat. They want the ability to make the wheat.
Yeah, pray for infrastructure. Well, okay, I could burn my shuttle to bring down some
Industrial supplies.
industrial supplies. Is that okay?
Do that.
We literally an unnamed transformer who's just going to be here for a while. It's going to take down my shuttle loaded with some of the trade goods.
Send a Sky Spy.
Okay, that'll
Your
work.
ship has a Teletran system. The Teletran system has a Sky Spy. It's basically a hyper probe that, it doesn't come up because you guys don't ever need to use it. You don't usually take different alt forms, but they can load a Sky Spy probe with materials and just fire it at the planet. It'll get past most defenses. They're built for that, so you can go in, scan for alt forms, and infiltrate.
Or just a dead drop.
Exactly. But the Sky Spy is built to hide from profiles from other scanners. So if you were in orbit at a planet and you wanted to go into skies, you go in orbit, Teletran would fire off a Sky Spy probe. It would go in, go low to the ground, go around scanning alt modes for you, and then transmit that data back, and then just erase itself. Leaving no evidence that aliens ever appeared on the planet until you guys showed down your alt modes and just kind of hid among the populace. So that's what you burn. You burn one of the few Sky Spy probes that you have on the ship. They'll have to build more.
Awesome.
You don't do it here in front of the goddamn power plant because you're not knucking futz. You go somewhere else, and a dead drop of industrial tools and materials shows up.
Okay.
I'll introduce you to the doctor. It's a bit out of the ways. It's among their communities, which are not really skyscrapers. They're more just sprawling housing complexes that are tied into the metro line because they're always on the move. These people are always traveling to different parts of the continent for their jobs, sometimes hours away, sometimes days away. It keeps them from being able to settle down. She is a doctor. She's one of the laborers, and she'll meet with you. What's her name?
Her name is Catherine Hunter.
Perfect. You're the aliens.
We are.
Catherine, I've been doing work on this upgrade. I've been told that by my family that it's a good idea to give you my data.
Well, we're trying to fix this. We've been trying to fix this plague, but the authorities that be, such as they are pretty obviously not being straight with us at all.
You'll run into that a lot on this planet. I have most of the information committed to memory, so I'll need to come with you to your lab.
All right.
She has access.
She does have access to the CDC?
Yeah.
She's a licensed doctor.
She's highly licensed.
She's foreign exempt.
Yeah, she's class exempt, which you guys are familiar with because in the Autocracy, even if you were part of the disposable caste, if you were one of the good ones, you got form exempt and the government allowed you to pursue another career.
Yep.
Oh. Oh. So yeah, she has a symptom profile. With her, you can actually start to profile the symptoms and start to understand what's being attacked by the plague. But I think we'll cover that next session because we're coming up on the end of the day.
Yep.
Okay. So, end of day 3, you have Doctor.
I mean, there were some people that are doing stuff in day 3.
I mean, I wouldn't worry about days a super lot.
Okay.
Like, I just wouldn't. They're not like, you don't need to fit every fucking thing to every hour of every day.
But people are dying, Devin. Just kidding.
People die every day. It's more of when there's a big scene, that's probably the day slot, and then I'll ask you what you guys did in downtime.
When we're still in like
for a fall.
And we're still in like the point where like the numbers we have for the deaths and infections here are like.
This is more like the tutorial day.
Yeah.
Like the tutorial stretch, just to kind of get a feel for everything.
Next day, all the prices jack up, and
Next day, fucking half your crew are dead.
oh no, our crew.
Right? Alright, so I think at that point, it's a good place to stop. I was Devin.
Tyler?
Ian.
Peter.
Mark.
And this is sponsored by Nobody. Signing off.